All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Chang Gang podcast. This is episode 46 featuring Kai, aka ItsNiyazz. Kai, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for dedicating your time for this. How's it going?
Thank you for having me. I'm good. I look tired, but just a FYI, it is 3 in the morning for those watching YouTube. So, there you go. That is why.
Yeah, guys, it's
Yeah.
3 a.m. and he's our second guest from Europe, which is really cool. Thank you so much. Guys, on the top right, you can see the panel. This is episode 46. We're going strong. We're bringing the podcast back. On the bottom right, you can see both of our Instagram handles. Feel free to drop a follow if you'd like. There are 2 commands for this podcast. So the first one is !podcast. In short, it's just a way for me to get to know my friends on a more personal level. So today we have Kai as our guest. We're going to learn about his life experiences. And the second is !guest. With that command, you could see his Twitch channel. He also streams, so feel free to follow him there. Okay, let's just jump right into it. Kai, give us a brief introduction about yourself and include some of your hobbies and interests.
Okay. So my name is actually Niyaz or Kai. I go by both. I have obviously a variety of nicknames, but the names that I kind of actually acknowledge is Kai or Niyaz. I'm 21, born in 2000s, August. I'm from the UK, although my accent does change a little. So where I'm born, I don't actually have that accent. And my accent is sort of Americanized because of who I was raised with, like as in like my friends and stuff. So that's why some phrases are a bit like a bit muddled up and a bit confusing sometimes. A bit about myself. So I study politics and international relations at the moment in university. So I'm on my second year. Next year might be my last year if I don't do a year abroad. But it really depends, COVID and whatnot. And a bit more about myself, hobbies. I love meeting new people. I love socializing. I am a bit of both when it comes to being sociable and being independent. I like being in my own space, but also I love and kind of need the balance of meeting new people and being outside of it. I run an org. So I've been running an org for this year will be the 10-year anniversary of me running the org. It's not like a crazy big org, so I don't want anyone to think, oh gosh, it's fucking phase. No. Wait, can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Sorry. British, we swear. But yeah, no. It's nothing big, but it's definitely means a lot to me because obviously 10 years of my life, it's like a huge part of me. But let's see, hobbies. What else? My hobbies sort of fluctuate. I recently started going back to streaming, which I think would be a hobby of mine. I did used to play like the piano and whatnot, but not anymore. Sort of like let go of that. When I'm asked, I go to the gym. But that's when I actually can be bothered anymore. But yeah, my hobbies sort of like fluctuate. It really depends at the moment. But not like the exact moment, it's more like the period of time. But yeah, that's kind of like a little bit of a rundown about me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Good overview. And how would you describe your own personality?
My personality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, this is how do I describe myself? When I meet people, I try to get a good feel of them. So I try to let them get a good feel of me. So if it's like a bit too quiet or awkward, I obviously try to fill in the room, make them feel comfortable and whatnot. But also, if it was the other way around, I would literally just listen and try to let them give me their vibes. I try to have like a very open view of people, especially when I meet people, because I think everyone has a story to tell, and everyone is an important character when it comes to not only their life but the whole story. So yeah, when it comes to meeting people, I try to be as open as possible, and I think in general I'm quite an open person, compared to like the people in my family, for example. You know, I'm quite an open person. And I'd say I'm using the word open a lot, but as a person sharing things, I'm quite open to share things with friends, but at the same time I'm quite reserved, because with friends and such, I'm happy to share so and so, but at the same time, I feel like one, I don't want to overshare because I want to give them the space and then the openness to talk and whatnot. At the same time, it's like just giving things out in stages, you know. But yeah, I think in general, I'm quite an open person, I like to say kind, but obviously, everyone has their sort of toxic
Opinions.
traits.
Yeah.
their
Okay.
toxic traits, their opinions and whatnot. And I think when it comes to things that I don't agree with, things that I necessarily don't feel comfortable with, I either will try to just do one of the fields of agree with to disagree, like be civil, or just kind of sort of keep a distance from that. But yeah, I think that kind of summarizes my personality.
Okay, let's go to the very beginning of your life. All right, we're gonna talk about your childhood. Give us a good overview of what life was like when you were born, and you could go all the way to like as far as you want, and then I'll ask you specific questions about your childhood first.
Okay. So, the day started at 4th of August 2000. Oh god, I just baited myself out. It was a sunny day. No, joking. But no, actually, my childhood was it was a nice childhood. I had a lot of fun times, a lot of fun memories and whatnot. But at the same time, I think there were moments where I wouldn't wish on other people, but I wouldn't necessarily take away because it's formed who I am. The childhood itself has been, it's just been like a very long journey, and I think just as everyone else in here, they can say their childhood definitely has their ups and downs, and they definitely have a whole load of lessons that they can learn from. I generally was a very good kid, and I think that's just because of how I was raised. And one thing I will take from how I was raised was the lessons I was taught from either the experiences I faced, the mistakes I made and whatnot, but also learning that I was the first child. I'm a part of a family of 4, so it's 3 little sisters. I'm the only and eldest boy.
Wow.
And being the only boy and being the eldest child, you face a lot of burden, of responsibility and such. But also when your parents are young, and when you're the first child, obviously they're gonna make a lot of mistakes, which is, I understand that, and I think that's probably one thing I'll take on when hopefully I have a family in the future. In regards to childhood though, So as I mentioned, I come from a very closed family. My family is a very large family. I'm quite distant with them. Um, Maybe because they're quite close, but it's close and religious. So I myself I myself am not very religious.
Hmm.
Um, but I know a lot about religion. By religion, I mean a few religions that I've been taught. So, for example, my family is Muslim, so they are very cultural and religious in that sense. Um, but I also was raised in a Catholic school. Um, so throughout my childhood, I was sort of learning a lot about my family's religion and the religion of my school. Um, but it was also a very religious school in the sense of teaching me about Hinduism, Judaism, and whatnot. So I sort of saw an opening eye of that. But I also studied science for like my whole childhood, so it was so conflicting
Wow, a lot.
as a child because it's like especially with how I was taught, a lot of them were very like demanding on them being right. So I managed to sort of understand to accept a variety of opinions and be at the very center of it. Um, because obviously my science lessons, although in a Catholic school, my science teacher was very atheist, and he was like, evolution and Big Bang, that's what explains it all. Whereas, my family would say, well, no, hang on, the scriptures, right? And then Catholic mass and whatnot, because I was part of the chaplaincy crew, or not crew, group. Um, so then the mass would say, the Father and the Holy Spirit and Jesus, they're the way and such. So yeah, in terms of upbringing, it's very conflicting, but I would say I learned a whole lot um, because I managed to see so much from it. In a sense of discipline, I, as I said, my parents and a lot of my family made mistakes. Um, that obviously I've been very vocal about, and those aren't being repeated. Uh, and would I change that? I wouldn't wish on anyone, but I wouldn't necessarily take it out of my life because it's really formed me for who I am. Not saying it's a good thing of some things that's happened to me, but it's a part of me that I've accepted and I've learned from, if that makes sense. But it doesn't define me.
Yeah.
Yes, that is probably a rundown of my childhood. But it's not all dark and gloomy. I don't want it to sound like that. I traveled a lot. I had so much fun. Um, my birthdays were amazing. New Year's was always a celebration. We have like this tradition to do that. Um, I've traveled a lot, so so I'm actually Asian. I'm Bengali. I'm not Middle Eastern, like someone said the other day. Um, my I am Bengali, so I've went there a few times. I've went to Dubai. I've went to Saudi. I've traveled the world a few times, and I continue to. So my childhood was a whole journey. But yes, that is that is a little rundown of my childhood in general.
What were your interests as a child? Like, how did you kill time if you weren't a part of like all the religious groups and
Um,
science?
okay. Right, how did I kill time? So, I oh gosh, so I did quite a few things. I was a very, very, very avid car lover. Um, so at a younger part of my life, I had a whole load of cars, um, that filled the whole house. Uh, and I was like a car collector, and I'd always have like special cars that I'd always bring around with me. Um, then I sort of moved to like Legos, and I spent a lot of time with Legos. And then but whilst being raised, I was at a very young age, which probably don't want to bait anyone out, but my cousins sort of introduced me to like gaming.
Hmm.
Um, so I at a very young age, I was playing PlayStation. So I started off on console. I was on play the PS1. I played PS2. I remember playing GTA, like San Andreas and stuff. Probably shouldn't say that, but you know, it's what I played, and it's what got me into gaming. Um, I played a lot outside because I live in a cul-de-sac,
Oh,
and
nice. Okay.
a lot of people, and there was like a park in the center, right? So a lot of people were kind of around my age. We all sort of, it was like a newly formed cul-de-sac, so a lot of new families were there. So everyone was really my age. So we played a ton of football. Um, there was like basketball hoops, but no one actually knew how to play basketball, so we just kind of let that gather cobwebs. So it was really a lot of football. Um, and then I was a really, really, really good kid at school, so I did a whole lot of extracurricular activities. I played a ton of instruments, but I never really stuck with one because I kept like fluctuating. I moved schools a lot. So as I moved schools, not only did I switch learning languages, but I switched learning instruments. So I started off learning the flute, and I played the African drums with it, the djembe in particular. I then moved to the trombone, then went to the clarinet, and then I stuck with the piano. Um, and well, I played the violin for a bit, but then I stuck with the piano.
Mhm.
Um, and then in regards to languages, I started off with Spanish, and then I moved school, and I did French because I never did Spanish.
Mhm.
Uh, then I moved and I did Spanish again for a very brief period, and then I did German, random German. I don't know why I did German. They just didn't give me a choice.
Jeez.
And
Okay.
then I did Spanish again. And then during me being growing up, I've obviously was learning Bengali, which I probably don't know much about, and Arabic as well. Um, so do I remember any of them? No. Probably at a very, very, very small scale. Hablo un poco el español. That's probably all I remember. And that's, yeah. So in regards to killing time, I think the most amount of time I killed is probably through gaming, through playing with my friends, whether it be online or offline. Because I had like two different kind of like main friend groups. I had the online, which was my org, and then I had offline, which was my actual IRL friends I grew up with.
Mhm.
And then in regards to yeah, so then extracurriculars I did a lot. So with my Catholic school, my actual like last proper secondary school, I did probably the most extracurriculars there because I was part of like the chaplaincy, and you know with that there was a
The
lot
what?
of like
Say that again?
chaplaincy. So it's like a so there's like a in every Catholic school there's a chapel, and there's a lay chaplain who's the head of
Okay.
the chapel, and they elect sort of students to be part of the group that work with the chapel. So I did a lot of like they did a lot of community work, so a lot of my work was based around the community. Uh, and then I was like part of the debate team. I was part of student council. I was a prefect, and I was head boy. Well, I say I was head boy. That was stolen from me. I was deputy head boy, but we're not going to go into that. It was stolen from me, but it's fine. I've still heard about that. But yeah, that's about it. About killing time as a young kid. Um, I didn't really. There was a point in my life where I didn't feel comfortable, um, much at home. Uh, that's why I spent a lot of time outside or online. Um, so yeah, that's why like a lot of my time was in institutions or just in away from home. Not saying home was bad, but there was obviously some tough times. That just as a kid you want to be in your sort of safe haven,
Mhm.
and for me that was mine. But yeah, that is in a rundown.
Okay. So specific questions, and
Mhm.
again, if you're not comfortable, just let me know answering
Okay.
these. So you mentioned that you have three younger sisters.
Yes.
Okay.
My amazing sisters. Yeah.
Yeah, so what was your relationship like with your parents and your sisters when you were younger
Okay.
versus now? And
Okay.
if you don't mind saying the age gap so we could kind of get a good
Oh, that's fine.
understanding.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So my sisters, they are, we really, I think in general, we have like a 3 year gap between each other,
Mm-hmm.
or somewhat around there. So like I am 21, my sister is 18, the middle one is 15, I believe, and then the other one is 9, 10. I think she just turned 10. But yeah, time's kind of like I've lost after lockdown. I've probably sort
Yeah.
of lost time, so I don't know what time is anymore. Um, so my sisters and I really, really get on well. We rarely fight, and we understand each other. Yes, okay, one or two few times there's been like, some sort of conflict, some sort of disagreement. But all in all, we are very, very much stuck together. I am very protective of them. And I think over time they've realized me protect them. Um, and through that they've sort of garnered the respect and understanding that this is my older brother, and I'm gonna respect him. We have a lot of similarities with each other. So like one thing that brings us together is the MCU. For example, Marvel. We
Mm-hmm.
love Marvel to death. Um, so whenever there's like a video or a movie or something, we can talk about it for hours. Um, and we have similar likeness, similar taste. Uh, some of us probably don't disagree with the food and such, but all in all, it's really good. When we were younger, we played a lot with each other. I was very when I play video games or whatnot, I try to incorporate them into it whenever they wanted to. Um, so like, I remember when we had PS2 and PS3, we had like a steering wheel, and we'd try to like uh, drag race and stuff. Or when it came to we had like the Wii as well, so we'd be very competitive when it came to like bowling or something like that. But even outside, our as I said, our cul-de-sac, we've sort of had people that grew up with each other. Um, so they sort of kind of intertwined with that atmosphere. When it comes to my parents, my mom is definitely my best friend. Um, she's sort of been an anchor in my life. Yes, we've had disagreements and whatnot, but we've also had a very, very good. I'm definitely a mama's boy. We've definitely had a good um, uh, connection. Because even I'm not a person who like overshares with like my family, um, but even without that aspect, they sort of I sort of can connect with them. When it comes to my dad, he's still my dad, and I still respect him. And I think over time we've been very respectful. Throughout the years, we've had our sort of tangle, if that makes sense. We sort of like butted heads a lot, and that's simply because I think we just come from two different aspects. I think my mom, I connect with her because she's um, fourth generation here. Um, she's fourth generation British, whereas my dad isn't. I'm in for him. He sort of moved here, so in regards to him, I'm first generation. Um, and I think, in my opinion, that has been sort of a bit of an issue because it's like clashing of opinions. Um, but all in all, it's been okay. I think over time it definitely has been okay. Um, Definitely when I was younger, as I said, some mistakes has happened, and I think there have been a lot of aspects because of that. Financial issues is probably one of them. We weren't poor, and I don't want to ever say that we were, but obviously, just as any other family would have hardships, we've had too, um, and we would do. Uh, and financial things was definitely one of them. But through that, I think I learned valuable lessons of the value of money, of the value of hardships, of the value of working for what you earn. Um, and yeah, so that's probably why we kind of clashed a lot. In regards to the outer sphere of my parents and my sisters, when it comes to the rest of my family, I'm very distant with them. They are probably quite close to my sisters and my parents, but I am very distant with them because of past experiences. I only get involved when there's a massive event that is of great importance to me, or if my family is in danger by them in any sort of capacity. And by that I mean, like, let's say there's a family argument, and my sisters are being verbally or something attacked, right? I would obviously intervene, or my mom or my dad. I obviously have a responsibility to do that. But I keep a distance because, just as every large family, just as every Asian family, there's always going to be drama. And I'm a person who doesn't like drama, and I'm a person who doesn't like negativity. And I believe the best response to that is just getting yourself out of the situation. But yeah, to answer your question, I think right now my relations with my sisters and my parents are really good. I think the biggest thing that really made it solidify so much is during 2019, I was living on my own in a different city, only for a brief period. And then before that, I was actually doing the same as well, just for a brief period. And they would call me all the time, and they'd cry, and they'd miss me, especially my grandparents as well, my granddad, both my granddads. I have one granddad who isn't actually biologically my granddad, but he's not like a step granddad or anything like that. He has a unique relationship with my family because he knew my great granddad from being like a friend, and then he met my granddad, his son, and then he met my mom, and then he met me. So he knew 4 generations of my family through just being friends. So that's why I consider him as my granddad, because he is basically family. But yeah, in general, I have at the moment a very good relationship. I think the thing that's probably been a bit difficult is the relationship with my dad, but I think we've learned to be civil. There are always going to be conflicts, but we've learned to be civil. Yeah.
Okay, so you also mentioned that your parents were really young when they had you, and you believe that also like some problems stem from that because they were also just growing, right? Can you be more specific about that?
Okay, so with I just realized Discord flips my camera off.
Yeah.
Wow, this looks so weird. Hold up, why is it? Okay, anyway. Sorry, just a minor revelation. So, the, I wouldn't say young. I think it's still the natural age of having me. Like, it wasn't in their teens or anything like that. My mom was probably in the early 20s, and my dad was probably in the late 20s. But I mean young as in maturity. When you're having a kid, it's it's not a new thing. Obviously, all parents are not gonna be ready to have a kid. It sort of just happens, and you evolve with that. But I just think my parents, just from their background, and how they were raised, they weren't fully equipped on how to raise a stable family, a young family, in this sort of environment. So, for example, my dad isn't from here, so attitudes on certain things are different, and culture is different, and he didn't have he didn't have a dad because he died when he was quite young, because my granddad from his side, so his dad and his brother, they fought in the war for independence for their country, and through that I think he got ill, So he died when he was quite young. Um, and I think at a young age, from having to sort of not have a father figure, he didn't know what to sort of relate back to when raising his own kid and being a father on his own. And for a while, he obviously lived on his own. So when he was 17, he moved from his country to help the family and whatnot. He moved from there to Saudi Arabia because that's when at the time Saudi was kind of flourishing. So a lot of jobs were open. And he lived there for about 10, 12 years. And so I think through his experience, in a sense, he just wasn't equipped. And also, I should say, he was part of a family of 9, I believe. So then you should imagine, it's discipline is going to be very different, and such. With my mom, she's always been a sweetheart, but she's always been quite soft, especially being also a part of a bigger family. And I think through that, but also her sort of values were different because she was raised here. And I think through that, there was a clash of values. They were learning about each other at the same time raising me. So not only were they learning about their son, and their son learning about them, but they were learning about each other, and learning that, there is no particular right culture. There's no particular right way to raise someone, but there are accepted ones where it's, we should sort of meet in the middle and go through that. But that's what I mean about that. It's young in a sense of not only maturity, but in a sense of learning each other.
Yeah.
And I think after around about the 3rd child, so it took a couple of children to get there, but around about the 3rd child is when things definitely changed. The 3rd and 4th child were definitely raised a lot different than me and my sister, the 2nd one. And we're okay with that because, we don't want, as I said, I don't want to wish on certain things on certain people. But I want to take away what formed me today.
Mhm.
But yeah, that is in a nutshell.
All right. So your parents were figuring things out, adapting while raising you guys. How did they handle discipline?
Okay. So I probably won't go into this too much.
Okay.
But and obviously trigger warning to anyone. But there were moments in my life where it's still somewhat I'm still sort of understanding and accepting because it can be somewhat traumatizing. But that's ass whooping is probably a regular thing for probably the most minimal things. But that is very much things sort of there was quite a lot of points in my life where I felt like I was a go-to sort of way to let out anger, even if I didn't do anything or if I was just there, right? And there was a variety of ways that happened, and it made me. Part of me wishes it didn't happen because there were other things that happened in my life, where if that doesn't happen, I could have been a bit more open with my parents when it came to probably not who I am because I don't want to die, but in a sense of probably things that happened to me. I was, for example, I was like assaulted and such sexually and whatnot, and I think at points I would have been very much probably the first few times I would have been a bit more comfortable to tell them, but I didn't really, and I still haven't. And I think maybe if I felt a bit more comfortable and I didn't feel like everything was my fault, then it would be right. But what I learned was, um, I in fact, um, what I learned, I guess, is somewhat discipline. But I also learned that not everything was my fault, because for a while, every time it happened to me, I thought, oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, it was my fault. Blah blah, this and that.
Hmm.
But then after a while, I realized, well, maybe they're just pissed off about life. But yeah, I won't go into it too much. Um, and I think it's not in the sense of me hiding it. It's more in the sense of for friends or certain people, I don't mind saying, but in the sense of it being in the audience, or with an audience, and especially to not trigger people. Just a bit, I'd rather not. But yeah,
Hmm.
but it's all good now.
Understood. Yeah.
It was sort of kind of like me and maybe a bit my sister, but me and Stop. I was very vocal about it with them, and I did things in my power to stop it. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. So, growing up in your area, can you give us like an overview or an outlook of what the diversity is like and just the city
Okay.
itself? How would you
So my
describe it?
city is probably one of the most or more diverse cities within the United Kingdom. Um, it the the there was very much like there was a lot of Asians where I was and where I grew up, and by Asians I mean like probably more South Asian, and um, it was a bit more accepting, but it was a bit more closed as well. So it was diverse, but in a sense of looking at anything else, any other aspects of society, sexuality or something like that, it was very much closed. Um, but I think it was an okay neighborhood. Um, the the in a sense of where I was, it was okay, but there were obviously, bad people. There were gangs, as there were in every place. Um, I just stayed with myself. I never really partook in any of that. I know, like, I had family members that were, and I think that's what sort of encouraged me to avoid that, because I saw what I was doing to people. Um, I have and had family members, who were imprisoned and are, and I sort of, saw that, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to do that. I'm going to avoid that.
Mm.
But yeah, so in a sense, it was very diverse, but also, um, there were things that I had to avoid. Um, I did, and it was okay. There were sort of issues in my life where I was like threatened and stuff, but all in all, it was okay. Like, it was all right. I don't live in a war zone. I should probably clarify that. Um, but yeah,
Got it. And talk about your moving situations.
my moving situations. Okay,
Yeah,
so
to where you're at
um,
now.
okay, so we have the same house since we were born, and so this is the first house that my parents got. Um, and they actually were the first owners of this house because it's a new house at the time. So it was built in the 2000s, and they bought it. So I think it was completed around like 1999 December. Then they got it, and then they moved in around April, and then August I came along. So yeah, it's around new house, and then yeah, so we've stayed here, and then I 2018 was probably one of my hardest years. And then but it was also a lot of self-reflection from everything that happened to me. And through that, um, I definitely so during 2018, I just cut everyone out from my life, and I was working full time. I worked in retail, and I basically became a manager, like a floor manager, because I spent so many hours trying to avoid, thinking about things, trying to avoid real life and stuff. So I spent a lot of time there, and then I was like, you know what? I actually just before I did that, after I finished college, I treated myself. So I went to London for like 2 months, and I stayed there, and it's probably one of the most happiest times the happiest I've ever been. Shit happened soon after, which is why I then went to work full time. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I need to go into studies back again, go to uni and do that, but I want to do it away from people. And I really enjoyed London, so I started living in London. It was only for a brief period, but I was independent, and that's when things started reconnecting with people. And then I wanted to transfer to another course because I didn't like the one I was doing. So I was doing medicine for a lot of my life. But then I was doing law in London. So it was a bit of a jump, but still within the Asian accepted field. You know, and then after that, whilst doing law, I realized it was too broad because I was doing just law general, where we would have to do corporate law, torts law, marriage law, and I didn't want to do all of that. But then we were learning about politics, and Brexit was a big thing back then. The European Union and whatnot. Still is a big thing, but back then it was enormous. And I was like, you know what? I want to do politics and international relations. So I tried to switch it in that uni, it didn't work. I tried to switch it in another uni, that didn't work. So then it was kind of like a blessing in disguise because I then took the rest of the year out to then wait for the next academic year to apply to one of the best unis I'm in right now. And I love it so much. So now I'm back home because I couldn't get a student accommodation because all my funds were paying back London. Because when you do a lot of switching like that, you actually have to pay them back. So I was paying a lot of fees back. So to save money back home. But I'm okay with that because whilst I was away, as I said, I reconnected well with my family, and I'm back home in my room. But yeah, so that was my living situation. Will it change? My plans, if a year abroad happens, then I will be studying in another country, alone. But if it doesn't happen for whatever reason, then I'll be finishing my final year, probably living on my own, doing that, just to sort of experience independence, because I do plan on moving out. Just don't know when. But yeah.
Okay. So now we'll talk more specifically about school. You've already mentioned a few things, how you were invested heavily on like clubs and activities or curriculars. How would you describe your overall academic performance?
Oh, it was good. It was good. There were obviously some times where it was a bit questionable. I wouldn't say I failed anything. Oh god, I'm gonna touch wood because I don't want to like jinx myself. But but I was definitely a good kid. I wasn't the smartest in the class. I was smart, but I wasn't the smartest because there was always someone who was smarter. But I definitely enjoyed what I studied. I enjoyed the atmosphere of school. In a sense of academic performance, I think I was pretty smart. But that was just because I did actually enjoy school. I love the friends I had, especially in my last sort of college and school. There's a lot of drama, but I was essentially kind of cool with everyone. And so I was sort of in the sidelines for a lot of the drama. But yeah, I think at times where grades were a little lower than I expected, not fail, but a little lower than my average, it was probably when I would do all-nighters for games. But I sort of learned a bit about self-discipline. I'm still learning about it now, to be honest, because sometimes, you know, I look at Valorant and I'm like, should I do my essay or should I play Valorant? And I end up playing Valorant. So, you know, actually I'm going to blame Riot for that. That's not my fault at all. But yeah, all in all, I think academic-wise, I was okay. I was good in a sense of being a good student. I think I was good as well because I was very much invested in my school, in the different academic fields and curricular activities and such.
Okay, and aside from academics, were you like on any sports teams? Because I know as a child you played football, so.
Yeah, so in regards to sports teams, we didn't really have many sports teams in the last school I picked because I moved to a lot of schools. So I did. So the last school was a smaller school than my other ones. So was I in the sports team? No. I was chosen to go, but I liked playing it for fun, and I liked playing it in like our classes. Did I do it as a hobby? I probably wouldn't say as high as the other things I did, especially later on because I sort of got fond of other things. But I really did like playing football. I played quite a bit of badminton actually because my dad wanted me to go into badminton. So with my dad and such, we played quite a bit of badminton. We did swimming as a child. I don't know if I can swim now, to be honest. I probably would drown. But as a kid, you know, as a kid, I was like a little fishy. But yeah. But yeah, that's probably the extent of sports. We got probably a very at a level of sort of enjoyment. And if I were to play with friends, yeah, or family.
What was your size compared to everyone else?
My size, I was probably average. I was probably at sometimes quite skinny, but I liked that. Like I wasn't like unhealthy skinny. It was like average slim. I probably am quite the same now. Lockdown was probably where I was my largest, but I think everyone can relate to that. And then, you know, since then I've been just working on myself. This summer was probably the most fierce I've been, in the sense of me trying to work on myself. But no, I was quite slim, and quite healthy. But that was just because I was very disciplined to eat and to do stuff. Don't get me wrong. In my mind, I do have like a body dysmorphia, where sometimes, you know, I don't like looking at myself, or taking pictures or whatnot, and you know, it's quite a common thing during my my life. So sometimes I'm not very, you know, confident in myself in that aspect. But I think without my mental being in the way, actually I was pretty average. I think I was quite short though. I think I am quite short now compared to other people, because my mom is probably well, my mom is really short. My dad is like average 5'9" ish, but because of genes, you know, I got kind of like the median, but it's kind of lower because my mom is short.
Okay.
So I'm quite real. I'm like 5'7", 5'6", 5'7". I'm gonna say 5'6" in a good day. No, 5'7" in a good day. I'm gonna say 5'7". I'm gonna be confident in myself because this is live, so we're not gonna lie. Well, we're gonna lie to people. That's what I mean. But yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna say 5'7". But yeah, I'm relatively short in that aspect. But am I like worried about it at all? Height doesn't really matter to me, because in my family, with my mom being short and whatnot, I've sort of you know, I'm sort of quite tall or average, so like it doesn't really bother me. I think what bothers me the most is like sometimes, you know, when you wake up and you're just like, oh god, don't look in the mirror, or when you're watching Netflix, for example, and it goes to like a black screen and you just see your face. I'm just like, ugh. Hold up. Do you know what I mean?
The like
No?
what, the end screen or
Yeah,
Or
when it's like when the screen goes black and you just see your reflection and you're just like, oh my lord. Yeah, so that's my
not what
mental.
I think about, but okay, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah. It just makes me contemplate. But yeah,
Hmm.
that's about it. I also hate my face fat. I definitely is something I'm working on. So, you know, give myself some time. It's definitely gonna go. But yeah. Um oh, accidentally opening face the front camera. I know when Snapchat accidentally does that. Snapchat baits me out so much. It rinses me. Sorry, I was just reading the chat.
No, it's okay. I saw
Yeah.
too.
But yeah.
Okay. How would you like what was your high school stereotype? Like what were you known as?
My
From
stereotype? Oh
yeah,
gosh.
kids see you.
Okay.
What did they say? How did they describe Kai?
Okay. Okay. So I had a different variety, but they came from different people. Um, one was definitely uh the chill one, or the quiet one, because at some points um, I would definitely, um, like, yeah, at some points I just wouldn't say anything, especially when I was younger. I was a bit more shy, um, and a bit more kept to myself. Um, that doesn't mean I didn't talk. As in, when I was with people, I wasn't very vocal, but I still did like public presentations. So it was like a weird, because then they'd see me on stage and they'd see me talking. They were like, "Hang on, he doesn't have our accent. He actually sounds different." So it was kind of like a weirdness and shyness. Um, then, in a sense of, so that yeah, then I was called Goody Two Shoes, but that was just because I was very much good. I didn't partake in shit. Um, I didn't smoke in the back of the canteen. I was obviously with mates and stuff that did so, but I never personally did it. And they just they just saw that I was involved in a lot of things. So some people said that. Teachers would call me badges. Because some teachers couldn't pronounce my name. My name was Niyaz. But I had like a variety of nicknames. Finn was one of them because my name in English is Phineas. Um, so they would say that. Um, but yeah, so in general, they call me badges because with the stuff that so you'd have to wear a uniform, right? And I'd wear like a blazer and like the collar that go down, I'd have like badges on it to represent the groups I was in. So they'd call me that. Then I was also called. It's gonna be really dark, but I was also called like the F slur at some moments. And I'm only mentioning this because one, I knew that I was, but it was very much I didn't really like I wasn't as like flamboyant as anyone else would because I was just very crap to myself
Mhm.
at some points. So like whenever people would say that, I literally would be like, "Oh my god, you guys are empaths because you're reading my soul before I'm even showing you it." But
What's
but
the
no,
name? What do they call you?
the F slur, the
Oh,
vocal
oh, you said
extra
F
people.
slur. Okay. I thought that
Oh
was
yeah.
like a
What did?
I,
Oh
I
oh
thought you were
oh. What
like
did?
the F slur. And I was like, what's the F slur? Okay.
Oh no no no.
Got you. You literally meant okay.
Yeah, yeah, but I want to mention that because
Got you.
some people did obviously say that, including family, especially when they were angry. Not like my sisters or anything, but outside the immediate field. Um, but yeah, that's probably why I was called. Oh, also, a politician. Um, for some reason. So like during prom, we had like these everyone, not everyone, but like a certain people who were chosen and like voted. Um, they'd get like most likely to be, and I got prime minister, even though I don't think I ever want to be prime minister. But yeah, that's probably how I was seen. Also the reliable one, I think. I was usually there with my friends, always whenever they needed it. Um, we went out a lot, so I'd walk home, and we'd always get food together, or go to the park or something, just do something stupid together. Um, so probably like a reliable person to always just talk to or just hang out with, because I was sort of there, you know. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's about it.
Have you ever encountered any bullying
Yes,
yourself? Okay. Want to talk about those
yes,
moments and how you handled the situations?
yes. So, I never really let it get to me, and this is probably a dark reason why, but in my head, it was more like I was dealing with a lot at home. So, like, the bullying was very minuscule. It wasn't very much physical. Um, it was very much verbal at some points, um, at some schools, and because of that, um, because of that, I very much it didn't really get to me at the time, and I think later on I realized, oh wait, yeah, I definitely got bullied. Um, but it's genuinely, as I said, it's because the things I was doing at home, in my head, I was like, this is little shit. I had shit going on at home. This is nothing to me. Please continue, entertain me. Obviously, I wasn't finding it entertaining, but like, it didn't bother me as much. But how I dealt with that is, at some points I was vocal, but at some points I didn't really care. Like, I didn't give them the time of my life. Um, but when I saw someone else bullied, I was very vocal. Um, so there was a kid, for example, in our school who'd always get bullied, and I'd always protect him to the point where they thought we were dating, and I was like, hell no. But the but I was there for the person, and then my school realized that, so then they created or joined this. They were partnered with this organization called the Anti-Bullying Ambassadors, um, because they realized that, and I was the first one to be chosen to do that, and I took that role quite, yeah, as an honor, in a sense, because I really genuinely wanted to make sure people are okay, because the little things that happened to me in regards to school it wasn't as big as like other people faced, and there was a point where it ended because, especially because of like the connections I had, and because they realized it didn't like affect me much, but also because some of the people who did pick on me wanted to be my friend later on, um, but all in all, how I dealt with it is I didn't. My teachers, some of them did deal with it, um, and I also obviously protected people. There was also one point where, actually, this is literally hilarious. There's one point where a teacher tried to pick on me. Just,
Teacher.
yeah, he was a new teacher. I don't know why. No, I do know why. He was teaching the wrong thing. So you know how we have exam boards? So we had an exam coming up, and he was teaching the wrong exam, like the wrong like things from the exam board. So I was like, what the hell? And I told him, and he didn't like, it didn't bother him, or at least he didn't really care. So then I told the head of the year, oh, not the head of the course, and I was like, this guy's teaching us the wrong thing. You're paying him for nothing. And then it was her who baited it out, because while we were doing it, she came in and she was like, yeah, so I need to talk to you. And she told him off during class. And obviously, because I spoke to him, he knew it was from me. So then he tried to talk to me, and not threaten me, but like talk down on me. But it was lunchtime, so I kind of ran. Like, as soon as the bell rang, I just walked out. He told me to stay behind, and then he saw me walk out and he was chasing me. Like, he left all his stuff and he was just chasing me. around the school, I knew it was being followed, and I had some teachers who were basically my best friends, because they were quite young, and they let me like this is why you should be good to your teachers, by the way, because if you're good to your teachers, they give you shit. Like my late chaplain, I was good to her. She bought me McDonald's almost. It's like some mornings she'd buy me McFlurries, or the other teacher would give me like this special like toilet key that no one ever uses because no one knows it exists. And I just, if I needed like a moment to myself, I just go there. Or in particular with this teacher, my music teacher, I went to her and I was like, bro, I'm being chased. And she had a whole ass fight with him in front of everyone. But yeah, it's pretty much it's probably a long-winded answer, but yeah, that's the answer to your question.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did he get fired or what?
Yeah, he got fired. Yeah, they had like a whole meeting with me. And I was okay with it because I missed a lesson doing it, and I was like, okay, I'm chill with this. I'm fine. I'm happy to have any meeting you want.
Okay. So this next question. So aside from bullying, have you ever found yourself in a physical altercation?
Yes.
What's the story
quite
behind
a few
it?
times.
Or
Quite a few
those
times.
moments?
And it's mostly with family. Back then, although I was distant with drama, you know, I did somewhat fall into altercations where I was threatened, or you know, attacked, and I did obviously defend myself. Was it as bad as like certain altercations that happened that I witnessed or I know about? No, it was very minuscule. But physical altercations, I'm not really a fighter. I don't seek out fights. But very few amounts probably when I had to defend myself. But yeah.
All right, let's talk about injuries briefly. What's the most serious injury that you've faced?
Okay. So we already know about mental scars, so we're not gonna go about that. But physically,
Yeah.
as a kid, I broke both my arms when I was really, really young because my mom came home, and I was like fond with cars, right? And I had this big car, and I took it all the way upstairs. My mom was coming, and I was like, "Mom, you here?" And I was trying to bring her the car, because I used to like when my mom or dad were at work, I used to wait at the staircase when I knew they were coming, and I like wait with my cars, and I remember, I do remember it, even though I was quite young, and yeah, so I heard the car, and then I sort of just tried to bring the car with me, like I heard her car pull up, and then I brought my car with me. And obviously a little kid can't do that. And then I just fell down the stairs and I broke my arms. That's probably the most serious. The other one, but it wasn't serious at all, was I got in a car accident. I was in a few car accidents. None of them were my fault. I was either the passenger or the pedestrian. The one, me being a passenger, was I was on the bus. And this is why I did not want to go early to college anymore. But I was like, I'm gonna go early to college. I'm gonna go early to college to do some extra work, right? Because I had like an assignment coming up, so I wanted to go to the library. And then I got on the early bus, and it kind of like crashed into another car. And I was at the back, and in front of my seat was like the pathway to the door.
Yeah.
So it crashed and I flew all the way to the front, and I landed on my back, and my back was in pain. I made myself land on my back though, because like I was sitting forward and I was falling that way, but I turned myself, so I landed on my back / this side, because I didn't want to land on my face. That's the worst. I don't want to eat shit, so I tried to turn myself, and then so I landed on my side and my back. I got an insurance claim from that, so it's okay. Because obviously it's a public transport, and I was 17 at the time, so yeah. But my friend was with me, and she got probably the worst injury because my back hurt, but over time it's just a small healing period. I lost breath, and I was like having struggle breathing, but that's just because it hit my back hit my lung. Um, and I definitely had trauma because every day I'd wake up for like a month and I'd feel me falling, and it like wake me up in the middle of the night. Um, but but my friend definitely had a worse injury because she like lost like her wrist sort of broke, right? Like her wrist broke like this, um, but it only broke because she tried to catch me. She saw me flying, and like Andrew Garfield when he tries to catch like Gwen.
No, okay,
That's
let's
basically what happened.
no spoilers.
No. This is like Spider-Man
Oh.
2. This is like 2005
I
or
know.
something.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Second one.
but yeah. Oh, second one. Yeah, Spider-Man 2. I mean, like grabs her, right? So like I felt her grab me, but because of the coat I was wearing, which I haven't worn since because it's like a cursed coat. Forget that. It's a trench coat as well. But I grabbed that, or she grabbed that, and I felt it, and I like glimpsed at her, and then she hit the seat because she tried to grab me. We don't talk anymore though, so for her. No, it's not my fault. She's just really busy. Yeah. But yeah, there we go.
Injury talk.
Yes.
Okay. Talk about your transition to university and like your overall experience with university and school, college.
Ooh, university is the best. So from secondary school to college was such a big step because this is when I was very more accepting with who I was. Not obviously to my family, with some family members, but mainly to my friends, right? And I explored certain things and whatnot. But then university was like the bigger thing because from college to university, I feel so free. Yeah, the freedom you sort of experience with college and you feel independent and whatnot. But this is like a whole new thing. You go to your lectures if you want to. It's all independent. You meet such like-minded people. I first thought so throughout school and whatnot, I was the youngest in my class. So like I was 15 when I applied for college. So I was relatively young because I was an August baby. But obviously during uni I thought I'd be the oldest because I took the gap year and then the other year off, going to my new university. But I'm at the same age of people. I caught up to some people, which is nice. I met a ton of people at my uni, probably all of them with my course, and with my uni being what it is, a lot of them are international students. So I met people from Brazil, Peru, Mexico, Russia, Lithuania, and we created such a friend group. And I took a heavy part in creating this friend group because these people are away from home, and I felt that when I was although I wasn't in another country, I felt that when I was in another city, and I tried my best to connect with people. And then when I saw there were other people who were alone or whatnot, or at least I liked them and they were in my course or around, I tried to connect them in. And it was really nice. So uni definitely expanded my social circle a lot more, and I've been out a lot more. Lockdown the first year was really depressing because everything was online, but this year everything is in person. So everyone in my uni is taking advantage of that. So there's a lot of partying, a lot of clubbing. Am I dying inside? Yeah, but it's obviously an experience. So first year probably lockdown ruined a lot, motivation and whatnot. But in general, it very much was. It was cool. It was fun. I loved it. I do not regret any of it, and I can't wait for my semester to start in February, because we're gonna do a ton of things.
You said you'd be done by next year, possibly, right?
Yes, so this is year 2. Year 3, if I did year 3 next year, would be my last year. Am I sad? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Am I do I want to prolong it? Yes, because year 3 is the hardest year. There's among all the other assessments, one of them is a dissertation, which is like a 10K word uh thing based on your course and whatever you choose, and that's just a headache. I do not want to do that. But yeah, so
Don't let Valo
that's
get to you.
I don't know, man. The that rank grind seems kind of interesting. It says the guy with the 80K tournament, hello? Or 80% tournament, jeez.
I'm not in university, so.
True, but I'm interested.
Oh,
But yeah.
okay, okay. We could talk about that later. All right, so let's transition to your work experience. You briefly mentioned that you were a retail manager, but let's start from the very beginning. The first job you got, overall experience, and move on from there to what you're doing now.
So my first work experience was when I was 15. It was just work experience. It wasn't like a legal job. It was because I was doing the course I was doing. I needed work experience. I was doing science, triple science, which means it was biology, chemistry, physics. And I knew I always wanted to get into medicine, so I did. My first work experience was training to be a first aider. So at the time, I was legally a first aider, around 15.
Okay.
And then during college, I did another work experience where I worked at a pharmacy. I did work experience at a pharmacy. And then then I did work part time now and then. My uncles own like a restaurant and takeaways and stuff, but my dad's friend, I did like a shift or so, just to sort of he wanted me to sort of like feel the work of things. So I worked as a waiter for like a couple of shifts, and then after that, I then got into retail myself. So like I applied for the job. I started as stockroom, so I was doing the morning deliveries and returns and whatnot. But then because I did a lot of overtime as retail, they moved me onto the retail floor and the stockroom, so I'd open and close the store. And then because of that, um, they moved me to the floor upstairs, which is usually quiet, and the floor manager was never in, so I basically did the floor manager stuff. So that's why I said I was technically a manager, because I was doing all her stuff. I would answer the calls for customer collects. I would obviously handle the cashier, the tills. I would do redesign the floors and whatnot. I would do deliveries. I would also do the tannoy system. So where it says, the store is now closing in 5 minutes, something, like I would do that. And my mom would always try to record me. So we have like recordings of me not only fucking up, but also of me doing it. There were times where like, so I said the wrong time and my manager just came, like there was like a window in front of it, and she was like, "You said the wrong time. What are you doing?" And I left the mic on. I was like, "Oh my god!" And throughout the whole store and like the car park and everything where the channel was connected to, they just heard me say, "Oh my god." Um, and then there was other times where, so my great uncle would be a security guard of like the shopping area, the shopping center. So sometimes he'd come over to me to like make funny faces while I did the tannoy. And there were some moments where I quite literally stuttered, and I was like, for fuck's sake, on the mic. And we have that on recording. And I was like, oh gosh. But yeah, that's about my experience with work experience. That job, it was about just over a year, before I quit and got ready for London. But yeah.
What's the most memorable encounter that you've had with a customer? Like a bad encounter?
Oh gosh.
Customer service.
Oh, there's so many.
Okay, you can mention a few.
I'll mention a few. There was one, right? Who'd always these women would always come to the store on my floor, right? They had the nerve to come on my floor, but they'd come on my floor, and they'd bring fake vouchers and stuff, and they try to because I was 18 at the time, they think, oh, this kid, we'll get rid of it. And I just stood my ground. I was like, I'm not gonna let you do this. Hello. Obviously, don't get paid enough for this, but also it's quiet on my floor, so I'm gonna use this as entertainment. So I'd always go back and forth. I'd be like, this is fake. So they'd always, and it was so creative as well, because one of them wore like a wig to look like another person. A couple of them wore like a headscarf, and I was just like, I know it's you. Like, this is entertainment for me. But there were other moments where the store got robbed a few times. And I wasn't involved in it because I was on another floor, but it was just funny to watch. And then there were times of I've had altercations with staff and with customers. So the biggest altercation I can remember was when this girl and this mom came in, and they were trying to do like this fake return or something, and they were arguing at this woman or one of my this girl who's working with me on the floor, and then my great uncle, the security guard, came in, and then they were attacking him, and this girl had the nerve, who's my age, had the nerve to attack him, and then I just went off on them. And I was like, get out of my store, this and that, and I was just going off. But it was more like I just didn't like how people were being attacked. So I went off. I didn't get told off though by the manager, even though I said some shit that I probably shouldn't have. But in my opinion, the customer is never right. The customer has all right to get their ass whooped, in my opinion, but not in that sense. With vocally, verbally. But yeah. Then with staff, there was this one woman who would do nothing, but she was old, so I guess they didn't want to fire her because they would feel bad. And whenever like a customer would come in, so she would not do anything. She'd be like on the other floor pretending to like fold something, right? So we would just have to do everything. So the deliveries came in, and then I had to do the deliveries. So the tills were open, and no one was there. And every time someone would come in and I'm doing something else, she'd bitch at the customer about us. She'd be like, "Oh, where's this boy now? What is going on?" And like a few times, I just let it go through. I was like, you know what, this old lady's probably miserable. I'll let her do whatever, you know. But then a couple times they just got to me. So then I just be like, I don't know why you have the nerve to say this. I'm literally doing everything, and we get paid the same. So you know what why are you bitching? And she was like, that's all I said, and then she came to my face and she like put her finger on my face and spat on my face, basically, like not like spit, but as in like she was talking to me and like coming to my face.
Yeah.
And I was like, this wrinkled ass woman, I swear to God. So then I had a whole argument with her, and then the manager called me in. I told the manager everything, and she kind of understood me. And the reason why I did it is because I did the most hours in the store. I opened the most accounts and stuff like that. So they couldn't risk losing me. And even when I was quitting, they tried to keep me to stay and whatnot. So, but yeah, that's probably the biggest altercation. I think out of everyone that worked there, I didn't face as much as other people, because I'd come in, right? I'd be there almost all the time, but whenever I take a day off, I'd come in and they'd be like, "Oh, you missed it. Fucking, there was like a knife alert or something." And I was like, what? Why does this not happen when I'm here? For me, I have to, like, literally, so the floor was so quiet, and sometimes, so there would be a computer upstairs, right? Because it'd be so quiet, I'd log into the computer because I remembered the password, because obviously I did manager stuff, and I'd probably watch Netflix or go like browse on something while I was working, because there's nothing to do. Whereas other people had like fucking hell. But yeah, that's probably the best experience I can say on the top of my head. That's a shitty one. There was a lot of work drama, but again, I was very much like distant to it. I heard a lot though, especially with the cleaners, because not many people were very nice to the cleaners, but I was, because I still saw them as people, and because I was nice, and because cleaners hear everything. Like, trust me, if you want to hear the tea in anything, go to the cleaners. They hear everything. So they told me everything, and I was like, oh, okay. I did get in trouble once though at the store, because I had to look at the CCTV camera, and there was a file that said "Do not open." And me being a curious 18-year-old, I opened it, and they saw that I opened it, and I got in trouble for that. But yeah, that's about it.
Gotcha. So that's your work experience.
Yes, that is my work experience.
All right, changing pace of the topic. Let's talk about your party life. Would you say you have had a party life or you're going through one right now? What would you say
I'm
in
going
general?
through one right now. I'm going through one right now. I definitely wasn't like a very, very outgoing partier. You know, I've been to parties or whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, and it doesn't mean I wasn't, you know, an outgoing person. It's just the parties that people think I never did. I don't drink or do drugs or smoke. I should clarify that. But I do make other people do it for me. um, and I very much when it comes to yeah, partying, I'm probably going through it right now, but that's just because again, lockdown stopped a lot, so everyone's sort of going out their way to do stuff now. There's been a lot of house parties, a lot of clubbing, a lot more planned, and it's definitely fun. How I am in those, I probably love socializing,
Hmm.
love meeting people. If there's a karaoke going, I'll probably join in. But obviously, you know, I probably wouldn't be the first one to do it, and probably it takes, you know, a bit of time for me to do it with other people. But I do. I have a dance partner. My best friend from Brazil. Her name's Letty. She definitely is my karaoke and dance partner. Because she's just such a vibe. So we always go out together to places. But yeah, I'm probably saying I'm going through one right now.
Hmm.
Compared to like before. Yeah.
So at the party, you're the type to just go around to socialize? Is that how you would explain
Yeah,
it?
I always stay with my friends,
Hmm.
but I would be open to socializing. Sometimes I would be the person um, who would go ahead and uh, meet other people,
Yeah.
especially if I, you know, think they're cool or probably look good or something. Um, but but yeah, we're a lot of people also come to us,
Hmm.
um, because of like, you know, how networking works when your friend knows a friend or whatnot. You sort of just, you know, get to know each other and meet each other and whatnot. But yeah, I'd probably open, a little outgoing. But yeah, I think my friend is probably the bigger party animal, so a lot of spotlight is usually on her.
Hmm.
And I let that happen. I'm like, yo, Letty, show them how they do it in Brazil. And then she just goes off. There you go.
Yeah. So to be clear, you mentioned that you don't drink. Does that mean you've never drinking before, or
I've
have you?
never. I've never. I've been persuaded multiple times. A couple times I thought about it.
Hmm.
Um, especially with with smoking as well. I literally almost got forced to smoke. But obviously I stood my ground.
Hmm.
Um, but no, I haven't. And I try to plan to keep the streak going because, you know, a lot of people falter to it. But I'm just like, well, you know, with me, I I kind of, I don't know. If I haven't done it, and I would run on pure natural vibes. Let's keep it going.
Yeah. So you don't see the need to.
No, yeah, no, I don't. Plus, with how I was raised,
Hmm.
you know, I was very against it. So I guess that part of me is still in me, even if I don't necessarily agree with like, you know, certain values. I still follow certain ones, so I don't like have, um, I don't have particular things. I don't drink or smoke or such. But yeah.
Nice. Okay. And to sum that up, what's the craziest party experience or memory that you could think of?
Probably my friend's birthday when we probably got to know, because it was like the start of us getting to know the group. Um, and we were on a roof. We climbed a roof and we were chilling there. Only a few of us did because everyone was like scared. And I was like, you know what, I don't care. Um, so we got on a roof and we watched the stars and we were telling stories and we were vibing, and dancing on a roof. and it has probably one of the best views because it has a view of skyline and stuff. I think that's probably the craziest. Um, because it was a bit of a trek getting there
Yeah.
on a whole ass roof.
And how about for raving? Are you into that?
What's raving? Is it like
Like
you're with a crowd of
EDM
people?
music,
Oh,
the
is that like
the
electro?
the instance, yeah.
Um, I'm not too fond of it. It is a lot of like club music. So you do hear it in clubs. So I have been there.
Mhm.
I have been raving before. Um, am I too fond of it? It depends how I am and who I'm with, but it's not something I'm like too crazy fond about because it's like I don't like listen to electro music just because. um, but it definitely like you can actually feel it in your body when you're at a club. Like it shakes your whole organs. Because of the down speakers. I also don't want to do it too much because I don't want to lose my hearing. But yeah, I'm really like no because my friends one of my friends Tara, she would tell me, she's got like tinnitus because of it, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of scared. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. I need to hear like games. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay, let's talk about some of your interests. Let's go with the top 5 for movies, anime, and TV shows. And it's okay if a lot of those are going to be MCU related stuff.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Go for
So
it.
we will start with movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start. I'm just probably only gonna mention MCU for the
Yeah,
movies
figured.
because I don't really watch any other movies. I probably watch them now and then, a couple of things on Netflix or
Mm-hmm.
in the cinemas. But the MCU is probably a big thing. My favorite movie from the MCU. Okay, besides like the Infinity War and Endgame, because that's probably like a given. Um,
Well, not necessarily, unless you think so.
Okay, well, this is one of my favorites because, um, it's especially Infinity War,
Okay.
even though, it's been such a shit show at the end of it, but, um, it was a big one because it was like my childhood meeting
Yeah.
each other. I started watching Avengers when it came out, and I was like, what, 10 or something? Um, so it was probably 9 or something, right? And obviously Iron Man came out 2008, 2007. Oh, so I was 7, 8 at the time. So it was my life, my childhood meeting each other. Um, and it meant the world to me. Because it was like, gosh, what an amazing thing. I think Endgame would probably come closeness just because, well, I'm gonna put them together because they're basically one movie.
Okay.
Because they're meant to be one movie. They only just split it up because, time.
Yeah.
Number 2, Chang. No. I'm gonna say Iron Man 3. Although it's a bit underrated, right? I'm gonna say. Oh no. I'm gonna say Black Panther.
Okay.
Black
Black
Panther was
Panther.
such a good one. Oh my god, Black Panther. Oh my god. It's so good. Wait, what was Chadwick Boseman? Rest in peace. Iconic. It was such a good representation, and it it was just like it changed everyone's mind of not only in regards to representation, but in the sense of that region. You know, typically in Hollywood, it's really depicted as European and American states being the only sort of advanced area, maybe some Asian states as well, but typically it would be those being the most advanced. But here we are seeing an African state being the most advanced in the whole world, and because of their power and because of their knowledge of human greed, they hid themselves and that's probably one of the most iconic stories. And I think it's also the story itself of Black Panther is so important because it's not only a battle of being revealed, but it's also a battle of a conflict of opinion, because obviously we had one who very much didn't like how they didn't support black people during like the slavery era, when they had the resources to do so. And then so it opened such a big conversation. It opened such a very honorable conversation, because obviously what T'Challa was coming from was like, you know, we agree, but vengeance isn't the answer. World chaos isn't the answer. And I think that's such a humble and honorable view of things. So Black Panther definitely. Then I would say Thor Ragnarok. Probably one of the funniest MCU films out there. Chris Hemsworth is probably one of the funniest natural actors. He's crazy. He definitely is crazy, because it's like it's just naturally funny. Like if you just want a movie that you genuinely want to watch a funny MCU movie and you don't need to know much background to it, then the Thor Ragnarok is definitely one to go for. And for the people who obviously know about the MCU, it's so revealing for them, because it's like, well, hang on, what happened to Thor's hammer? Wait, Thor has a sibling. Wait, what is Ragnarok an actual thing? And what I love about the MCU is that they relate back to world mythology, because they're trying to tell you, not only is this a story about, you know, our characters in a comic, but it's also relating to stories of our world today. You know, Thor was a real life Norse god. Athena was a Greek god. And you know, she's on Eternals and stuff. So it's meant to like link into real life stuff, so you can also relate to it a bit. And then so that'll be number 3. Number 4 would probably be The Winter Soldier. You know, we saw it, although it was a Captain America film and not an Avengers film, The Winter Soldier created so much, introduced so much. You know, we saw the introduction of Spider-Man. We saw, no wait, that was Civil War. No, we saw the introduction of, I think it's Civil War that I'm talking about. I don't know, whichever one it is, right? Where we saw
Civil
Spider-Man.
War with Spider-Man, and yeah.
Yeah. So it was, I don't know why I'm saying Winter Soldier. I don't know what that was about. But okay,
That
we'll
one
say
was
Civil War
about
then.
Bucky.
Yeah. We'll say Civil War then. Because it was the introduction of Black Panther and Spider-Man. And it was the first time, and the reason why I really like this is because this is the time when Batman vs Superman came out. So everyone was like, okay, who is going to do the allied battle better? Is it going to be DC or Marvel? Obviously, we know the answer is Marvel. And basically, yeah, so that's a good one. And the 5th one, I'm going to say this in, all these are in no actual order. And I actually like a lot of other movies, so it's really hard for me to pick them. But I'm going to say Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is one of my favorite ever characters out there, because he is a static figure, and he's so important to the universe, and he's still human. And Doctor Strange's movie tells you so much. It tells you so much about, you know, even if you have a disadvantage, if you lose a limb, if you can't do something, can't talk, can't whatever, you still have the internal ability to master that field. And yeah, that's what it proved. And I really appreciate that. Although it also, probably for those who smoke, probably wasn't the best movie for you, because it looked like you were in a psychedelic. But you know, let's avoid that. But yeah, that's probably the top 5 movies. For shows, number 1, I'd probably say Vincenzo, because I really, it's probably one of the most recent shows I watched, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. I not only enjoyed it because it was a show and because the actors are very attractive, but and the fashion sense is like impeccable, um, but because the storyline was amazing, and it also was during a time where I had a lot of stress, so it was like a stabilizing factor. You know, I was handling so much assignments and a lot of family things going on, um, and that was a really like stabilizing factor. And I like to get things to remind myself of things, so I actually got it's probably like really cringe. I actually got like the Vincenzo lighter. You can probably see. Oh god, I don't know if you can see it properly. But yeah, I bought it because I was like, I like to get things to remind me of certain things. So like everything I wear reminds me of something. I actually, it's like for example, this bracelet was given to me when I was like what 16, and then I got this chain. No, I got another one when I was no, this was 17, and I got another bracelet that was 18. When I was in London, this ring was 19. This chain was 20. This was 21, and my earrings as well was also 21. So I like to get things that remind me of things I can look back to. These remind me of, look, I survived all these years. Some had a lot of shit. I can keep on going. Whereas this, just, I don't know, it's kind of like a reminder of the show. So top number 1 is Vincenzo. Number 2 is Suits. I love Suits. Suits and How to Get Away with Murder was definitely a show that inspired me to do law. I realized that shows really influenced me a lot. So like when I was doing medicine, what encouraged me to do medicine was Casualty and Holy City, and those are like the UK version of Grey's Anatomy. So those definitely inspired me. But yeah, definitely Suits. I've actually rewatched it 3 times, and I'm probably gonna rewatch it again, or rewatch Vincenzo.
Okay.
Yeah, some shows that's like therapeutic or humbling, I like to watch if I feel like it again. Number 3 is WandaVision. WandaVision is, I highly recommend everyone to watch it. Linda, if you're watching this, Linda, you need to watch it. Your name is Linda Vision. You need to watch this. But I did a watch together for my org for WandaVision, because WandaVision is really iconic. It tells you a whole story about grief and how this woman with the natural ability of power, right? Can I watch it too? Of course. Yes, Isaac, you should watch it. Everyone should watch it. Hello, this is an open invite. Everyone watch it. And it talks about grief. It is a very sad thing. I highly recommend you watching the shows that Wanda is part of, and you don't actually need to. You can actually just watch like a YouTube video of like a rundown before WandaVision, right? Because WandaVision is about grief that this character has faced, you know. And what I'm gonna say is not spoilers, because obviously you should know this before you watch it. But it's about a girl who has a natural ability that she doesn't know about, that has got enhanced by something, by one of the Infinity Stones, that we know from, you know, Thanos and everything like that. Thanos didn't actually do it, but she got enhanced by the Mind Stone, which enhanced her ability. In the comics, she's known as one of the most powerful figures in the whole universe. But this thing, I'm not spoiling, boy, don't even. But this boy. So then, the enhanced abilities, and then they but what she's grieving about is because when she was young she lost her parents, right? And we know about this before WandaVision, so you know, don't attack me. And then we know about her losing her brother, because from Civil War we know, no, not from Civil War. Is it Civil War? No, Ultron. Age of Ultron.
Yes.
We see
Ultron.
through the sacrifice that he made, she lost her brother. And then she also lost Vision from the Infinity Saga. the actual Infinity War. So she lost everyone, and it's about grief, and it's also about it's about her powers taking over her because of her grief, her not realizing that she's grieving, and then her accepting that and grieving whilst also having to lose more people. Which I won't say that. I won't say who, what, when, how. But I recommend you watch that because it is a very, very important story about grief. I've went through a lot of grief in my life, so I can really, really, really relate to that. So much. And I love seeing it how it's played by Elizabeth Olsen, the actual actor. She does such a phenomenal job because you can feel it. You feel it. And if you face grief, which I'm sure everyone has, right? You can genuinely relate to it. And it makes you cry. I be grieving Deek. I love Deek. Shout out to Isaac and Deek. But yeah, now that was top 3. Top 4. Huh. Oh, I don't want to say How to Get Away with Murder or anything like that. I did like How to Get Away with Murder, but I don't think I'm gonna rank it. It also got me into wanting to do law because I was like, I want to be like Annalise Keating. I want to walk in a courtroom and be like, you bitches got ain't no shit on me. And then like probably Harvey Specter and stuff like that. But I would say oh my god. I should have really thought about this, huh? I know we spoke about this. We had like a lot of shows that we had similar, like Ozark and whatnot, but I wouldn't have picked Ozark either. Oh. Probably not The Last Kingdom, even though I was really interested in that. I was really interested in The Last Kingdom, and I was really interested in Versailles, which is very similar to that, but it's like about the French king. Peaky Blinders, I probably wouldn't because I would be very biased, and yeah. I'd probably say Loki and What If as like a random last 2, because just out of curiosity of me not everyone. Only being because Loki changed the face of it, and What If also changes the face of it, of the universe, by adding the multiverse and concepts and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely does. What If is definitely a good show, although it's anime, yeah. Oh, for anime, I don't really watch anime. I really want to get into it. But the ones I've watched, so I will definitely rank, is number 1, my first ever anime was Death Note. I really like that. L is so smart. And is it Light Yaga Mu? I don't know what his name is. He's really crazy. And then I watched Silent Voice, but I didn't finish it. But that's definitely number 2 because it's really, really cool. And I definitely want to finish that. Light Yagami, there we go. And then oh my god, what's the other one? The Princess Mononoke? Mononoke. I don't know what her name is. I still haven't finished it either, but that is also a good one. Those are the top 3 because I don't remember anything else.
No problem.
Also, I always make this fun joke with my friends because I don't watch anime. I always make this joke that like SpongeBob is anime or something just to piss them off. So if you're watching, guys, I'm sorry. I'll add SpongeBob to the list, and Phineas over while we do that. But yeah, there we go. That's one of my top things.
Current favorite song and artist.
Oh, this is hard. Can I do more than one?
No. Just because you asked.
Okay, right. Lately, so since the summer, I got really, really heavy into K-pop and BTS. But I think at the moment, I'm listening to Hyphen a lot. And I think the song is Tamed Dashed, something like that. I can't remember the name of it. It plays a lot on my playlist, so it's like I've got like really into it. But I do like Twice, and it's like I can't stop me or something like that. I'm really bad with lyrics and names, but I do love my Doja Cat. I do love my Nicki Minaj. So yes, those are like, although they're not my choices, there are honorable mentions. There we go. There's a loophole. There we go.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. So now we're gonna get into more sensitive and touchy subjects. Do you
Okay.
want to take a break before this quick break or anything?
No, it's fine. We'll go for
Okay.
it. I'm kind of scared. Tame
No,
dash
no, no,
drag.
no, no, no.
Thank
It's
you.
fine. It's all about your life, all right?
Oh
Okay,
gosh, that's even scary.
let's talk about
Okay.
relationships and heartbreak if you ever
Okay.
had any, and if so, start from the beginning, whatever you consider as relationship, crush, fling, whatever you want, and just go from there in chronological order.
Okay, so I'm not gonna talk about my sexual experiences because a lot
You
of
don't have
them
to.
were out of my consent. And also it's just weird to talk about it. But I will talk about. So during college, as I said, college was an era of me being out there and whatnot. So there, but also my radar was very bad. So I did try. I had the balls to talk to a lot of people. But also a lot of people who I spoke to very much were not playing for the same team. So I fucked up a lot. But that's just because my radar was really bad. And after a few times, and some of them were assholes, some of them were really nice with it. After a few times, I gave up during college, and then that's probably sucked a lot because there was one person who I was going to talk to, that I just didn't feel like I wanted to anymore. Who apparently liked me, but I was like, never mind. So that was like a big miss. There were people who approached me, during that time, who I didn't feel comfortable with, especially with how they did it. So like one tried to catfish me, but I caught them out, and I told the person who they were catfishing, and that was dealt with. There were a couple of things on some apps I probably shouldn't have used at a age. It wasn't at a very young age, but someone with early experience I shouldn't have. But that didn't really go anywhere. Then there was one from college who really liked me, but it was really, really creepy because they would stalk me. Like they would, know my timetable, know my bus, know everything, try to be very touchy, and it made me very, very uncomfortable. And yeah, so that's one. When it comes to recently, so since then, I've been very, very much closed off. I like to tell people I never was in a relationship, because I don't think I was. I don't consider certain things as one. And I don't pursue one either. And my walls are very, very much like up when it comes to that. Only a few come in, and this summer, a few came in. One has been a bit scarring because we were talking for a while and there was something there. But then they dated my best friend. Not my best friend, my friend. I know, it was so out of the blue.
Shit.
So out of the blue. And we were talking for a long time and it just happened. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And then my friend, they essentially, they then wanted them to not talk to me anymore. And then they didn't talk to me anymore. It's okay. It's whatever. He was over it anyway. Moving on. So then, the other one was, some people might say it's a bit of a rebound, but I don't personally think so because I did appreciate it. They were the one who actually came up with a Kai nickname. And it stuck with me for a while because of who they were and my appreciation for them and the name itself and meaning behind the name. And yeah, so that just didn't go out well because they essentially they would be very distant randomly, so I felt very used. especially as soon as at a point when I just open my walls for them, they'd be distant randomly. There'd be times where they would want to meet and stuff, and you know that's like a big thing for me because you know I only just coming out of my shell. And then when I'd be ready to, they'd always cancel, and it happened like 5 times in a row. The most randomest things. They'd plan out of the blue, and then they'd cancel out of the blue. And then I wouldn't hear from them for like 2 weeks because because they were like chilling with their mates or something, or talking to someone else. I don't know. So I felt very used, and then since then I've just been very closed. So my opinion on relationships, I'm very happy with myself. I always tell people, I'm like, I don't have time for relationships. My mental strength is barely like suffering with my own, so I don't need to think of another person's ass. But very much that's like my limited history in regards to like the most recent times. Everything else, I mean, I think with everything that I've been through, and whatnot, it's just who I am. I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm learning to love myself, you know, body dysmorphia and stuff like that. I'm learning to be at my own sphere, and because of other things I've just been thinking about, you know, education, drama, family, friends, the org, and whatnot, I just like to work on that, and I just don't have time. But I'm not completely opposed to it. What I like to think is if someone has the key to open the door, then I will think about it. But for now, I'm okay with my own self. You know, I wear my crown, and I'm happy with that. I don't need to share it. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your org?
If you want to, yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I own an org called Death Streak Assassin, or DSA. It started back in 2012 as a Call of Duty clan. It was first owned by someone called Infinite something. I think his name is actually, that might be a completely different name. It was owned by some guy, right? And it was called BWA at the time. It was their clan, and I got recruited to it. Me and my duo, one of my best friends, who's still here today. We did like quick scoping matches, window wars, whatnot on Black Ops 2. And you know, we were recruited into the clan, the sniper clan. And I very much felt comfortable doing so. I was still a shy kid, and my accent at the time, because they were one of my first American friends around that time period, my accent was very, very, very British. And I was a squeaker at the time. So I then, after the guide, so the owner left for a bit, and then they were like, right, we need someone to lead. There was like co-leads and stuff, and I was the quiet one, but for some reason they picked me to do it. For some reason they were like, you know what, let's let the quiet guy, who they then found out was British, lead the clan. And since then, we moved on to a variety of games, and we just played together. We were just a clan of friends. When we went to GTA, we were thinking of a name because it said you have to pick like a GTA crew, and we were going to pick Fatal Assassins, but Fatal Assassins was taken by my friend, like his cousin or something. He had like a clan or something, so we were like, okay, what do we do? And then GTA had like a suggestion, and they were like, Death Streak Assassin, and I was like, yo, we'll just do that then. Kill Streak sounds weird, we'll just do Death Streak Assassin. And then we did that, and then the logo we have, which changes over time. It's still one logo, but we like to change the color and stuff with the theme. So we go for like blue for summer. It's now orange, like goldy, to represent like 10 years, because it's like, you know, like a gold sort of achievement. But we basically we were just mates, and then we created the GTA crew and whatnot. The logo I made when I was 12 is still the logo we use today. It's just obviously cleaned up a bit and refurbished a bit. And then through that time, we stuck together. We met a bunch of more people. We lost some people, but a lot of us even reconnected to this day. Some of us that live in the UK, we met Others we plan to meet sometime. We were going to plan to meet this year, but I don't know what's going to happen. I'm a big fan of Eurovision, so we were going to like meet during Eurovision in Italy, but I don't know if that's going to work out or not. But so since then to around 2018, I fell into the Overwatch competitive scene for console, where they have like their own comp teams. So they create teams that scrim against each other and then play in paid tournaments, right? To make a name for themselves, to earn the money, to rule the scene. I fell into that as a competitive player, then I fell into that as a manager, then an owner of another org. And then with that knowledge, I was like, you know what? Let me rebuild DSA, not into a clan now, but to an org. So then what I did was I created 11 competitive teams that all played not only just Overwatch, they played CSGO, Overwatch, Siege, and it was on console and PC. And I was like maintaining all of that. So I was losing my sanity, trying to keep everything intact and stuff, because it's about 12 players per team. So it's a lot to handle with schedules and stuff. But obviously I had my managers and whatnot, so I definitely wouldn't have been able to do it without my managers and my coaches and stuff. We then expanded our services of the org into a variety of other things. So we had one of our first services was Creator Connect. So we have the creators. We had the MC world. We had the podcast. So I actually had a podcast on my own. It wasn't like a video thing or live or anything like that. It was more of me very much talking with my friend. We have like the website and whatnot, and right now I just let it be what it is. It's kind of chill and does whatever it does. But that is my org. That it plays a big integral part of me because my life changed a lot throughout the decades. But the one thing that kept stable and static was the org. You know, with me losing friends and family and whatnot, with me grieving and stress and whatnot, the one thing that remained static was my org. So it means a lot to me because it represents so much. But yes, that is my org.
How big is it right now? Like, how many people are a part of it?
So the org number fluctuates. I wouldn't say it's a very big org compared to the orgs. In regards to Discord, our main Discord only has around like 380 people. But we have other services that sort of work with themselves. So we have like Scream servers. So like the creator Discord has 900, 800. The Overwatch Discord has around 900 to 1,000 people. The Siege one has like 200. Away has like 100 and something. Away is like a mental health server. So it's all like a variety of services that all have their own amount of people that sort of fit into this umbrella of DSA.
That's
So
a
a
lot.
variety of other things.
Mhm.
A lot of it works on its own. I could do a lot more, like I was saying before, but I've been very passive with it because I just sort of like it as it is. I'm not one to just pursue and just grow it at the moment, but I like to be part of it. But yes, that is my org.
All right. Switching gears, how is your mental health right now?
Good. I say good because I actually, before meeting you guys, I was part of another friend group that, I never used to use my camera to talk to people on Discord. And it was a friend group that I met. It was just like a random friend group I met through like TikTok. It was a bit random. Like the guy had it on like the Discord in his bio, and I joined it a while ago. And then I randomly joined the voice channel, and then we became friends. But there was so much drama with that, and it did drain my mental health a bit because I was like, I lost some people that I thought were cool. We weren't friends for a long time, but I thought they were cool. But then I met everyone else here, and one thing I appreciate through that is, they gave me a little bit of confidence to use my camera and talk to people and stuff, rather than just, stay quiet. My mental health was definitely questionable during the summer, was where all like the relationship things were happening. But it stabilized because I started to go to the gym and stuff, and I used it as an outlet. What I like to say is 2018 was a hard year. It was a very, very low time of my life. 2019 was sort of like recovering from that. 2020, lockdown kind of caused it to have some issues. And then 2021 is sort of like accepting everything and healing from it. So my mental health is good. Some days, as everyone would have, down days. But in general, my mental health is good because it's not as worse as it was back in 2018. And I learned a lot because I learned a lot about people, about myself, and about my inner circle. So yeah, I'm good now.
Oh, so Angel just asked, what color do you like?
What color do I like? I wonder what color I like. Besides the big blue behind me. No, blue, dark blue is probably a nice safe color for me. But I do like red. Do like purple a lot. Purple probably I wouldn't wear or anything like that, but I like just the color of purple. I like light pink as well. I think light pink's really cute. But I think safe color is blue, dark blue. I like dark, vibrant colors. To wear though, it depends. Some pastel colors possibly, but I usually go for like the nice, neutral tone. It goes well with the skin, or like a darker tone because it also goes well with the skin. Like, black is really good. White's not bad. But yeah, that's probably in summary about colors, I think. It's different preference with different things. Wearing it, seeing it, painting it. Yeah. That's it.
So you actually touched my next question about mental health. So when you were at your lowest point, so back in 2018, I'm sure you went through a lot, but how did you dig yourself out of that low point?
Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande helped a lot because it was when she released her Sweetener album. And I remember when I was at probably oversharing a bit, I was at the police station because that's one of the things that's happened. And I used to just, I played Ariana Grande's Breathing song all the time. And just because she was going through a lot too, and I could relate to that. And she just said, just keep breathing and breathing. And I was like, I am trying. I am breathing. But it definitely was a lot of Ariana Grande. A lot of... I had no one to talk to, so it was a lot of being on my own. Because it's the first time I'm used to being alone, but it was the first time I was alone without my volition, without my choice. I lost literally everyone. So it was me and Miss Grande. And time heals. Doesn't fully heal, but time heals. So it was with time and with something to focus on, something to strive towards. I would definitely say working as well. Because if I didn't get that job, gosh, I don't know what it would have been. Because gaming was hard. I lost all my friends, so I didn't game during that period. I didn't know what to do. And then when I got that job, it was like, a grace that was given to me. And I just worked full time. Like I did probably illegal, but I literally didn't get much breaks. Probably no breaks whatsoever. I did get obviously some breaks, but worked to my ass off to the point where I had to sacrifice my breaks. But yeah, it would definitely be those three. Ariana Grande, time to myself, and most importantly, working. Yeah.
That being said, talking about relationships and mental health, what advice would you give on those subjects to anyone?
Okay. I would say, first of all, don't chase anything. Don't think about relationships. Don't think about anything like that. A lot of people worry about it too much, and I see it eat them. Honestly, some days myself, I'm like, it would be really nice to have someone else to talk to and someone else to rely on and someone else to blah blah. But trust me when I say don't plan on it, because when you keep trying to manifest something and it doesn't come, right? When it's something you physically can't control, because it's not like you earning something. It's completely random. It's literally whatever's written in the universe, right? And if you choose to try to attempt to manifest it, when it doesn't happen, it will eat you alive. Your mental will go, and it will eat you alive, because you will then question yourself on why someone else, your neighbor, your friend, your celebrity crush or something, finds someone but you don't, right? And you tend to question your looks, you question your voice, you question your physique, you question everything, when realistically you're perfect the way you are. But it's simply, yes, the universe, I believe the universe has everything destined to all of us, right? And you simply can't control some things, because sometime randomly you'll meet someone, right? And it's the universe putting you and someone else together. But quite literally, don't attempt to force anything. What you should do is just work on yourself. And I know that's the biggest cliche thing that everyone says, but what they mean, right, is work on yourself where you are satisfied with your own being, right? For me, I'm working on myself where I can live with my body, right? I'm not like fat or skinny or anything like that. But my mind tells me that, right? And if I'm gonna be with my body for the rest of my life, then I have to learn to live with it. And that's the same with, everyone else. You need to learn to love yourself and live with yourself, because there and then you'll be happy. And then someone will come along the line, they'll bump into you into a store, they'll hit you up in your DMs, you'll probably ask them out, they'll say yes, or they'll throw a coffee at you. Something will happen to you, right? At the most randomest times. They'll probably even queue against you on Valorant. But at any point, you work on yourself, someone will come on a long way. And trust me when I say, when you are confident and work on yourself, that's probably the most attractive thing. People in general love it when you have your shit together. And when you know you, because one of the most attractive things is when someone is them, not someone else. And then my advice with mental health links to that as well. Mental health is such an important factor, as it is with your physical health. Mental health is important. It's important for you to hydrate. It's important for you to sleep. It's probably fucking shit coming from me, but it's important for you. Fucking talking at what, 5 a.m. It's important for you to take care of yourself, because then even if you have down days or whatnot, then you can at least understand that you're not at fault for anything. And also sometimes it might just be like, if you feel like shit or anything like that, there might just be genuine scientific explanations for it. If you feel like you look shit, it's probably because you didn't get enough sleep. If you feel like you're fainting or something, it's probably because you didn't eat much. If you feel like your mental is down on one day, a lot of the time it would be because of sleep. Because if you don't get much sleep, you're going to feel depressive. It's just proven fact. And then finally, and most importantly, know your worth. We are all worth billions, and we all wear a crown. And some days our crown might slip, but other days it will stand tall. You just have to make sure it remains tall, because a crown must always win. So yeah, that is my advice for all of that. Just live your life, c'est la vie, and yeah, just work on yourself.
Well said. Well said.
Good.
Okay. How has COVID affected you personally?
Okay. I haven't had COVID. I've had my booster shots. I haven't had COVID, thankfully. My family, my immediate family hasn't had COVID. I've had family members all around that has, and I've had friends that have, and so on, so right. But me myself, I haven't had COVID. I've had my shots, and I'm actually having my booster tomorrow. I've had such a shit reaction to the vaccines, so I don't mean to scare anyone. So please get your vaccines if you can. But I had such a shit reaction. My first booster, I had to go to the A&E because it was affecting my kidneys. But that was probably because I didn't have much to drink or eat. My second booster was I collapsed, and then I had to get taken to a gurney to a private room, and it freaked everyone out. Some people walked out because they were like, "Wait, what's in the vaccines? It made this boy collapse. Let's go." But that was also probably because I didn't eat much. Yeah, I had my vaccines early in the morning, and I don't have big breakfasts, so probably why. And then, but COVID's lockdowns were very depressive for me. It wasn't as depressive as 2018, but it sparked a bit of loneliness, but it also sparked a bit of unity as well. It was the first time I felt so united with my family. We did cooking challenges, we did videos. I never uploaded them on YouTube or anything. We had fun together. We celebrated birthdays together. We did scavenger hunts. I did a lot of gaming. I worked out a lot at home that I never thought I could. And although I was depressed with me gaining weight and stuff, it wasn't a crazy amount of weight, and I definitely started losing it during that time. And I felt happy. Although there were some times where we faced hardships and whatnot, but and grief and loss. But all in all, compared to other people, I think we were quite blessed. Because a lot of people faced it worse, So I think I definitely was quite blessed with what I faced. But I haven't had it. God hope I don't have it. I kind of hope it does end really, really soon, because the amount of variants coming out, oh my gosh, too soon. But yeah, I think it's in the spectrum of how bad people can have it. I think I had the least. But then again, we were very, very, very good at following the rules. We never really went out during lockdown, and stuff, and we wore masks quite regularly. I had to go to clinics and stuff, for various things, but I was very, very, very good at staying safe, and so was my parents, and so was my family. So yeah, we were good.
Okay, moving on. What are your current goals and aspirations in life?
So this is like a big question, and I think a lot of people definitely don't know. My dream would obviously be to, if things go well, if I'm with someone, if I'm financially stable, to have a family. I have that all, like, when I was a kid, I kind of like dreamed of that, to raise my own. It'll be family of 4, 2 adopted and 2 through surrogacy. I even have like the names and everything sorted, so but I don't manifest it. It's kind of like a, if it happens, it happens, But in a realistic sense, I want to graduate. I currently have a passion for exploring different things that I enjoy, like Twitch is one of them. I think it's nice whenever I can, or feel like it. But also being more connected with people and learning myself more. Definitely going to the gym a lot more. But also in terms of a career, the reason why I picked politics is because I kind of want to work in the United Nations, the UN. So if the door opens for that, and if I appreciate it, then I would. I don't think I would work for my government, because I don't necessarily agree with them at the moment. Do I respect them? Of course, I have to respect the government. Do I agree with them? No. But I would prefer to work in the United Nations, because although many people here will question the validity of the United Nations and like the power of them, I still think they make change. Whether it be large or small, change comes from people and comes from organizations. And yeah, unicorns are the national animal of Scotland. Yes. I'm not Scottish though. This is all I came for. I'm going to sleep. It's 6 a.m. Oh my god. Central Europe. Hi, hi, hi. Sorry, that's like really caught me off guard. Are you French? Spanish? German? That was interesting. Anyway, yeah. So, that's about it with probably my current goals and aspirations. Swedish, La Suede. Okay, nice. I love you guys in Eurovision. You guys are amazing. But yeah, that's all I can say about that.
All right. Talk about some traveling you've done and where do you want to go in the future?
So traveling, I've traveled quite a lot around my own country. So I went to Wales, I went to kind of like near Scotland, around Newcastle. Traveled all around Britain itself, especially when I was younger. As I said, I went to Dubai and I went to Saudi Arabia when I was a kid. I went to Bangladesh as well. I plan to. I want to go explore the world as literally everyone does, right? I really want to go to Korea and Japan, because I think those are amazing places. I actually have Japanese ancestry in my blood, so I would love to. I don't think it's a long lost family, so I don't think I'll ever meet them. But it's nice to learn about my culture because, my country is relatively new, and my family history is quite expanded. So there's a variety of things. And I really wanted to go to Italy this year, but I think we might or might not go, because I really wanted to. But I'm planning to go to Turkey on my own, or with my mom. It's kind of like a vacation, but kind of for other reasons as well. And I think that'll be amazing to visit. I love Turkish food. Oh my gosh, I tried it so many times when I was in London. It's amazing. And I definitely want to travel the US. The US is amazing. Probably not southern states, I'm sorry, even though I say I'm Texan. But I definitely want to visit LA. LA sunset seems beautiful. I love the stars and I love sunsets. They are my dream. And one of my dreams is to go to the observatory and look at the skyline with the sunset and at night. I actually used to own a telescope because when I was younger, I was really fond of astronomy. And yeah, that's one of my dreams is to go there. I also want to go to a very desolate place so I can see the sky at night, because you can see the actual stars and the rays and stuff. And I would love to just go there just to see the universe. Imagine seeing that. Imagine going to a desolate place and looking up in the sky. When you choose SoCal over NoCal, am I right, Wilson? I know, right? Oh gosh, look at this guy picking SoCal. Oh gosh, what's NorthCal? Where's NorthCal? Is that San? Wait, no. Is that San? What's San something, right?
Like San Francisco,
San Francisco.
Jose.
San Francisco. I love San Francisco. Is that the one with the bridge?
Mm-hmm. Golden Gate Bridge.
I love bridges. No, but the bridge is nice. I love the Golden Gate Bridge. Because the bridge is iconic because I used to play Driver San Francisco on PlayStation. We used to drive around San Francisco, and the fucking the bridge was amazing. But I don't really know much about San Francisco but I used to always get it confused with Seattle. I don't know why. Because it was like vibrant and stuff. It's one of the things about like those states. It feels like, or those cities, sorry. It feels like those. Yeah, we just got a random red bridge. I actually learned about that bridge. It was weird. I watched like a video about it. I don't know why. I think I was like tired and I just autoplay was on. But yes, going back to it, I definitely loved I love the idea of like an open city, drag queens walking around freely, people being who they are, food, oh, good. But yeah, and then what else? I would love to go to New York. My dream is to go stay in New York, live my Harvey Specter life, have a penthouse, and just my dream is to take a bath while looking out of the sky, like looking at the skyline, like the skyscrapers, right? I
Mhm.
hope there would be curtains though, because that would be so awkward if I'm like taking a shower and someone's in the office building, right? Like that would be so weird. But I would love to do that. I think that would be so cool. But you know, I also want to be a billionaire, so fingers crossed something happens.
Mhm.
But yeah, those are my goals for traveling. The US is such a big one, for me, and I have so many friends there. You know, I still have to steal your dog. No, is it your dog? It is your dog, right? I have to steal so many dogs. I
A
don't
lot of
have any
dogs.
pets.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love dogs, so I need to steal Bailey's dog. Bailey's dog is being abused, so I have to save it.
Whoa.
That's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah.
He calls me racist. Okay, this is not fair. I have to say something to him.
Uh-huh.
He, but yeah, but that's about it. Yeah, that's my goal. I think it'll be amazing to do some karaoke with you guys as well. But not me physically doing karaoke, probably me listening to you guys do it.
Mhm.
But yes, I think it'll be amazing.
Okay, so other than Twitch, what social media platforms are you using currently?
I'm on everything. I don't post on Instagram. I only recently started posting it because my friends were very much for it. But I do
Mhm.
go on it now and then. Twitter is probably the most I use. I don't probably tweet as much unless it's like ranting or responding to someone. But I usually am on it to see like the news and whatnot and like what people are tweeting about. I think it's funny. Snapchat is probably the second that I use. I used to post a lot of stories, but it's usually during semester times. I post a lot on my private story. That usually everyone really has access to it besides like my parents. So sorry, mom. But yeah, I post a lot on it during like the semester. I like to take a break when I'm on a break. But yeah, I just post random things of like my favorite what I eat or something like that who I'm with. Discord is like a very top one. I've been a lot on Discord. But it's kind of partly because of the work with the org and stuff. Just maintaining the servers and whatnot. But also with friends. I love just chilling with friends. A lot of the time I don't really actually hang out in my own servers. I like just hang out in my friends' servers. And I don't use Facebook. Facebook is stupid. Reddit I only use if I need help for something like PC parts. And lastly, TikTok. I am on TikTok a lot. I have two accounts. One is like a down bad account, because the For You page is so down bad. So I made another account that I post stuff on. And I only posted two TikToks. I never necessarily wanted to post TikToks, but my friends wanted to. So I posted one when we did like the Halloween event.
Mhm.
So we dressed as Squid Games. So I dressed as the front man, whereas my friend Letty, she dressed as the red light, green light girl. So we did a TikTok for that, and then we did the TikTok for the bad romance challenge, where you have to sing it without laughing, and we failed badly because everyone was drunk. And yeah, and it was a really really late night. But yeah, that's about it with me and social media. I'm
Socials.
quite active on it.
Okay, talking about Twitter now. How'd you hear about it and get into streaming?
Twitch or Twitter?
Oh, Twitch. Oops. I'm so sorry. Twitch.
It's fine. It's fine. Twitch. I think I created my account around 2019, and my friends were like, "You should stream a bit." It wasn't my first account. I created an account. I used to stream on my DSA account, which was the org one. I first started on that, because we were just streaming on the account. And then I was like, I need my own one. So then I had one, but I never actually streamed on that one because it had my full name on it.
Mhm.
And I was like, I just wanted ItsNiyazz. It sounds weird to have my full name. And the reason why I had my full name is because when I was younger, my cousins created my PSN and they just put my full name on it. And I was like, oh, this is a bit too revealing. So over time, I changed it to ItsNiyazz. Now, then so around So I stream now and then on my new account, especially just pre-lockdown, right? But it was never consistent, never as much as I'm doing now. And I still don't have a timetable now because I like to do it at my own pace, at my own time. Because I want to do it if I feel like it. I like doing things where I don't feel like it's a job. I like doing things when I feel like it because then when you're watching, right, you don't feel like it's forced. Because anyone has the talent to obviously, you know, an attitude and a good face for the stream and whatnot, but I get exhausted by that, and it's a lot of work. And I honestly I applaud people like yourself who are so consistent with it, are so open with your community, are so just there, you know, have your brand and everything sorted. But for me, I sort of do it at my own pace, and I like that. So that's how I really got into streaming. It's really a lot of my friends even wanted me to stream, so I did it as well because of that. But also just random, you know. A lot of people have visions for it. Obviously, I would love to be like something big, like a partner or something, but it isn't something I chase because I think some people are so much more deserving of it, especially people who are like so consistent, and so the value they produce is so impeccable. But yeah, that's sort of my journey with Twitch. It's only recently I started networking with people. I only did it with my friends. And then I accidentally networked with people. So when I left that friend group earlier in the summer, then I met Umami randomly. This is actually a cool thing to say. So that friend group that I left, you know Comalytics? I think he was here.
Yes.
Me and Coma were in that friend group. So we both had that mutual friend, right? So I left it, and then I was in Coma's server. And then I was just like bored because I was like, oh gosh, you know, I need someone to talk to, blah blah. So I was looking at my Discord servers, and then on Coma's server on the list, right, it said there was one person streaming, and it was Umami, right? And his name was Umami Senpai on the thing. And I was like, what? Why is Umami Senpai? Why is he streaming? So then I go on it, right? And as soon as I go on it, they're talking about pickup lines. And I was like, what am I in? This is something. And then I was giving pickup lines. So just like randomly saying stuff, right? And they were laughing. And then he kept calling me Nia, and he calls me Nia now. I'm okay with it because it's okay, you know. He's a mommy. And then yeah, so and it isn't the first time, to be honest. I have like a lot of nicknames. And then he streamed the next day, the next couple of days, and I actually followed him. So then I got the notification and I joined. And then they were doing pickups line again. And I was like, oh my god, is this a thing? Well, let me just do random things. And then he said, do you want to join my server? And I said, I joined your server. And he said, no, do you want to join the org? And I was like, oh. What org? I thought, I'm confused. Because obviously as an org owner, I was a bit confused what was going on. And you know, I've accidentally randomly joined orgs before that I ended up being owner of, so I didn't want it to be like another burden. But he invited me and I joined, and then I saw Chill was on, so he went off and I saw Chill was on. And this is when I was like looking around SRTV. I was like, oh, this is a nice server, this is pretty neat. I saw Chill was on, and then I saw something about, everyone was saying something about Shirtless Wilson, right? And this is when I met you. Because I was like, so when I went to so I joined Chill's stream, I got to know him and stuff like that, and he was pretty nice. But then you came back because you were on vacation, and then you had like the Shirtless Wilson roller stuff, and I was like, oh my god, this guy's Wilson. So that's when I joined your stream, and I was like, so you're the famous Wilson. And I didn't know that was already a meme, right? I didn't know people call you as a joke, like famous Wilson. I genuinely said that. So you were like, who told you I was famous? And I'm like, no. No one told me. Everywhere, everyone says Shirtless Wilson everywhere, right? Oh my god, Coma's here. Hi, Coma. Everyone says Shirtless Wilson all the time, right? So I'm just like, gosh, this guy's so famous. But yeah, it was very much, I then sort of, since then, branched out and met everyone. You know, then we got raided. I think someone raided Linda. Then I fell into like the web of like Linda's group, which kind of intertwines with everyone else's. It's kind of like a one large, lovely community, and I felt so welcome with everyone. And it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, he's been with us. Yes, I'm with James. He's cracked. James, when are you gonna carry us on Valorant? Hello. But yeah. And it's been nice. And since then, I feel so welcomed. Honestly. It's very limited when a person and a group can make you feel so welcome, especially when it is something as big as this and something that promotes himself as open as this. And so I felt so welcome. And I was a bit worried at first, given how things went with my last group. But that's all gone because you guys are actually, you just vibe. That's all we want. But yeah, that's how I fell into the Twitch kind of sphere of things. It was actually you guys that got me into streaming again. Because it was like, yes, applause. But it was because I never thought of it for a while, when I said I wouldn't do it bit by bit, and I still do. But everyone was streaming, and I was like, you know what? This is nice. I want to be part of it. I want to stream and make memories and stuff, because when I did do it, it was nice and fun. And so as much as I was supporting people, I wanted to do it as well. So I did. So that's how I accidentally fell into the world of this, and that's how I also was encouraged to be out there a bit more. So thank you, Wilson. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, James. Thank you, Umami, for even getting me in here. Thank you, Chill, who's basically my twin. Oh my gosh, same birthday. Hello. That still freaks me out. But yeah, that's about it.
Nice. Okay, what are the pros and cons of Twitch?
Oh gosh. Okay. Pros: you meet amazing people. If you open yourself to be, because as I said, I was on Twitch before that, and I only did it with friends. But if you open yourself to lurk, to raid people, to get to know people, there are also some people. I was actually watching this girl earlier, right? She plays on console. She's a small streamer, but she's probably one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. She plays horror games, right? And her reactions are priceless. I was like, girl, you're so funny. You don't understand. She's gonna be big. And I think that's the thing. It's world-class entertainment from your home. And entertainment you can be part of. It's not like a Netflix show or anything like that. It's something which you can be part of, and that's the biggest thing. And you can make so many memories. You can be part of so many people, and that's all anyone could ask for. Cons: lack of sleep. Definitely lack of sleep. That's like probably the biggest con. If you care about your sleep, throw it out the window. I'm joking, but I don't really have many cons besides obviously you need to have a lot of self-discipline for certain things. But sometimes you can stay up for certain things because it's worthwhile. Like this was worthwhile. I don't have any plans tomorrow, so this is worthwhile for me to stay up. And I actually did sleep earlier. That's probably why I have a bit of buybacks, because I did actually sleep earlier because I wanted to be a bit more awake. And then, but yeah, cons I guess also. Probably not a community thing, but for newer streamers, I kind of would hope and wish that Twitch would be a bit more open with newer people. Some of like the technical stuff are so hard to understand for newer people that don't have a community backing them, like with music, like with VODs. Like for the longest time, I did not know what raiding was, right? Until like you told me. Like everyone would say, time to raid, right? And like everyone would like spam these messages, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what is happening? But like, it's not a community's fault. It's genuinely like, I think it would be nice for Twitch to be a bit more welcoming. especially when you start streaming. Gosh, it's so scary. You feel so scared. But once you find those good people, like when I started streaming again, I was nervous. When I had my camera on, I was nervous. I was like, I look like a potato. And then like when I drink from my water bottle, so this is my water. This is why I haven't drank today, right? Like on camera, because I realized I look like a hippo when I drink. But like when I'm with people, right? When I'm with my friends that I met, they boost me up so much. I love them so much. I genuinely do. But yes, that's the story of the Twitch community, pros and cons. Not many cons, most pros.
Do you have a favorite memory so far on Twitch?
I have a few. I have a few from earlier, before I met you guys, where we were playing Faz, and I'm a pussy when it comes to horror games, right? Faz, I just about got handles with, and then they do an update to change it even more to make me more scared, right? So fuck you, whoever created Faz. But there were some clips that I shat myself. I literally got so scared, and there was a funny memories because I love looking back at them. And back then the game was so glitchy, so my friend would die outside the house by the ghost. So those were good. In terms of recently, I have so many good memories. One of them, I love seeing the people I watch, their reactions to things. When they get rated, when they sub, when I give subs or something, right? It's so wholesome seeing their stuff. And I love how each and every person has their own thing. Linda, for example, when she gets ready, she takes shots.
Yeah.
So if I'm streaming and if she's on, I'm like, Linda, you know? So she can fucking chuck that shit. Favorite memory as well, very cliche, was meeting a lot of people from that. But like, not just meeting them, right? Not just meeting them naturally, because I like to meet people naturally. I don't like it to be forced. I like to like socialize with people and get to know them. But it was meeting them in a sense of getting to know them and them getting to know me, right? So many people who I presumed, I'm not one to assume, right? But I assumed they would be like a different age, different personality, whatnot, right? Blew my mind. And they have such stories. Like, talking about James, who's here, right? Oh my gosh, I called him 16, and I feel so bad. I know, I feel so bad. No, because we were getting to know everyone, right? And then, they were like, oh, how old is he? And he sounds, I'm telling you now, right, James, if you're listening, he sounds like my best friend's brother, right? And my best friend's brother is 16, right? So I just instantly assume, I'm like, oh my god, you sound like him, so you're 16. And I don't know his age, but he's obviously older, right?
No, we're not gonna expose his age.
Yeah, we're not gonna expose it. We're not gonna expose it. But he's obviously older,
yeah.
right? He's obviously older. And he has so many stories.
Say that.
And he's a lot. I feel so bad because I fucking called him 16, and like for the longest time, he would fake an Aussie accent, right? And I don't know many Aussies. And I only just got to know like Eunice and Nathan, and I met with them all at the same time. This guy was freaking me out. I thought he was Australian. And then later he's like, yeah, I'm not 16 and I'm not Australian. And I'm like, you fucking asshole, what am I meant to believe? But he's honestly funny, and he's so much more mature. And I think a lot of people just like him have this natural talent of being have it like a duality, you know, be fun but keep their morals and keep their sort of maturity. Linda being one of them, yourself being one of them, Paul being Pavlov. Oh my gosh, so many people. But yeah, those are good memories. I think an actual proper memory, I think I'll say from my Twitch recently, would be my own alerts scaring me. Because I kind of forgot. I was like, you know how hard it is to stream? I applaud you to multitask, right? Talking to me, talking to chat, keeping everything running, right? I applaud you, because when I was streaming, right, so many buttons, so many things, so many shout-outs I had to do, right? And I was like freaking out, and then my alerts go off, right? I have like Ariana Grande going off, and I was freaking out why Ariana Grande was singing randomly. And then I realized that was happening, and then I started freaking out when I got raided. I got raided by one of my friends, by Isaac as well, right? Tara and Isaac, bless them, I love them so much. Um, I was freaking out because I was like, first of all, how am I meant to react? My camera's on. How am I meant to react? Do I smile? Do I laugh? Do I cry? What do I do? Um, and then yeah, with Isaac, just talking about Isaac, I think he's also amazing as well. I do want to talk about him briefly because I think he's given me so much advice for streaming and for being like a person anyway, and hyped me up so much to gain confidence that I lacked. And he does karaoke streams. Oh my gosh, so many people who can sing. Ian, Eunice, you, Umami, Chill, Isaac. Gosh, so talented. Give us some talent. Hello.
Oh, hello,
Anyway,
you
that's
too.
this guy. Gosh. Anyway, yeah.
Great. Okay. So speaking of advice, what advice would you give to people who are new at Twitch or are just trying to grow?
Oh my gosh, so many people have given me so much good advice. Number one, I think every single person does this, right? And I do this too. Don't care about your numbers at all. Do not care about any numbers because it's a platform of billions of people, right? Probably millions, not billions, but tons of people, right? Don't care about numbers. People are going to come and go. Numbers are going to be botched, fluctuated, reduced, whatever, right? Don't care about them. It's just like Discord, you know? If you run a server, don't care about numbers. People are going to come and go. It's whatever. It's life, you know? So first of all, don't care about numbers because it's all about your content and if you have fun. That's why I stream whenever I want to because it's all about me having fun. Then my other advice would be stick to yourself. You know, don't fake a brand and take it how you will. Some people can do whatever, but I personally prefer people being genuine to who they are. You know, if you are like anime and whatnot, don't fake that you don't like it. You know, if you want to stream a certain game, I remember someone saying this earlier in chat. Someone said you gave them advice. They were like, oh, what's a game that people like to watch? Do what you want to do. Play what you want to play. If people want to watch it, they will watch it. And eventually and inevitably, you will find like-minded people that want to watch it, you know? Like I said, that one girl that was playing that horror game, right? I randomly found her. And I love watching her. I watch probably almost all her streams because she's hilarious, right? Now, she does whatever. She doesn't care about numbers or anything like that. And she just streams like a random game that she bought. So you do that. And lastly, try your best to open your doors a bit. I wouldn't. Networking and stuff should not be a mission, but you should accept it as it comes. For me, I randomly fell into a group, and I love it. Right? For others, you'll somehow meet people. Let it be and let it come how it comes. Don't force anything, and just do what you wish. And if you want to make something out of it, just be persistent and keep being you. I think that's the best advice I can give. I also would say be open to advice as well. There are so many people that can offer so much advice. Like there was a streamer last week. Her name is Bree. She had this shout out thing come up right on her screen. That I had a different one, and I wanted the username one. Right, I wanted like the profile one. And she gave me advice on how to do it, right there and then. And I was like, bro, thank you so much. So always look into expanding your brand, always looking to accept advice. There are random cool YouTube videos and stuff on Twitch stuff, but my primary advice would be fuck numbers and be you. That's probably the best thing I could say. Yeah.
Beautiful, well said. All right, finishing up with some Twitch questions. What are your thoughts about having a Twitch crush?
I don't have time for a crush. The heck? A Twitch crush. Okay. People crush on people. It is natural and human. Do you mean like forcing something, or generally like having a crush on a
No,
Twitch
just generally.
Okay. It's human. If you have a crush on someone, you have a crush on someone. I'm not gonna lie, there have been some people that piqued my interest. And that's human of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of random people that are smaller that I watch and I talk to. And you know, I'm sure it's the same feeling that goes on for around the world for other people. I think it's just as any crush. It's natural and it's human. If you want to pursue it, but don't ever devalue yourself or anything like that in pursuit of it. And if you get Donna Wald at home, someone else that's here listening, work on yourself and let it be. And if you can't pursue it, then give it time. I also believe in right person, wrong time. So, you know, maybe the journey and the story doesn't end there. Just keep being you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Twitch crushes are just like any crush. It's human, natural. Some will fade away, some will continue to be a vast story. Mine, very limited. Probably just going to be just one of those things. We'll see.
Okay. And last question. This is definitely for the people.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
how does it feel to be famous?
I don't know. I should ask you that. Hello? Why are you asking me how's...
Your reaction.
What
Don't
the hell?
Uno reverse this, Kai.
Who asked this damn question? Do I look like Beyonce to you? The fuck?
Alright,
the world?
fine. Jokes. We're moving on. Thank you for
How's
that.
it
Thank you
feel
for
to
that.
be famous? I don't know. Yeah, because I'm not. I love watching people and I love being with people. And if that's what makes you famous, then it's just it's a vibe. But I personally don't think I'm famous. I think Wilson here is famous. And for some reason Wilson is never answering this question. Famous guy. So that's a better nickname than racist guy. Thank you, Simon. Or Simods. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'll accept that. There we go.
Alright, let's switch gears. Talk a little bit about Valorant. Favorite agent to play and least favorite.
My safe option is Sage.
Okay.
It's a good safe option because a lot of people insta-lock and a lot of people they, you know, they require that sort of extra team effort. A lot of players require that. It's more of a safe option. I don't think I'm the best Sage out there compared to like fucking Nathan, who walls everything he can and stands on every single thing he can. Jesus Christ, he's like a kangaroo. Oh my gosh. And then he's my idol for Sage plays. I think I also like to play her for NA because high ping, you know, conflict when dealing with one-to-one combat, it's you're at a severe disadvantage. So being able to be rather a team helper with high ping is so much more important and vital and useful, you know, because you let the person who with less ping be the duelist, whereas you can be the sort of anchor with your ping. In regards to my favorite operator, I think I use Raze more lately, but I started practicing Sky because as an alternative to Sage, I think Sky is a good oppressive healer, but I forget to heal. So that's probably an issue. I need to work on that one. So I think Raze is a good, nice one to go for. For most hated operator, this fast bitch Neon. Oh my gosh. Raya, what were you thinking? It's okay, you can use my username as my first channel. Okay, thank you, Simon. Raya, what were you thinking? Like, hello? You know, when they released Neon, they buffed Ares and then people using shotguns. Like my life wasn't hard enough and you give me Neon with finger blasters, yeah, Neon is my hated. And before that it was Chamber. So clearly, you know, there's a pattern here, right? When you're releasing characters, can you kind of like inform me, please? Thank you very much. But yes, that is hi Icy and hello. But yes, that is my
Got it.
my operators.
How about favorite gun and least favorite?
Ooh, okay. I'll try to go in like category wise. In regards to pistol and like sidearms, right? Gosh, I sound like American now. In regards to pistols and sidearms, I love my sheriff a lot. I really love my sheriff for the one taps. But high ping is really, really, really hard to do that. So I've been using the ghost lately. I love the marshal when it goes to like a safe option pick, but lately I've lost my marshal skills. That kind of comes from like the Call of Duty aspect when I used to like quick scope and whatnot with snipers. But Vandal is my favorite. Vandal has my heart. It's a very, very good, reliable gun. One taps are amazing, even though I can't fucking one tap for the life of me. Skins definitely help with it. Vandal skins are really good. But if I'm having like a bad day, I'll go for the Phantom. But yeah, least favorite. Any sort of shotgun or light machine gun. Oh my god, if you use that, you need help. You need help. You are insecure. You are insecure if you use a damn shotgun or a fucking LMG. If anyone in your tournament does that, I'm calling you out. But yeah, that is my opinion on that.
All right. Speaking of skins, favorite skin bundle.
I love the Z skin for the Phantom. I don't own many skins, but I love the Z skin for the Phantom. Oh, I was playing with Chill yesterday. I really love this Ego skin on the Vandal. You know, the black, white, gold one? Oh my god, it gives you powers. Like, if you can get kills with it. Ego skin with this, like, ninja charm. I don't know what charm it is. Buddy. Really good. The Prime, good classic one. The Dragon, Elder Flame one, good classic one. Reaver is a good, nice classic one. But I kind of... A lot of people hate the new skin. You know, the one that folds outwards? I kind of like that.
Falls
I don't know.
outwards? Oh.
You know the new one, the new bundle, robot one?
Yeah, the one that talks to you or what?
Yeah, the one that talks to me. I haven't actually used it, but I love the concept of it. I really like that. But favorite skin, I'll probably go with Elder Flame at the moment because I fluctuate with it. I don't own many skins, so it's really what I found the flaw at this point. But yeah.
And lastly, rank your maps from favorite to least.
Oh my god, I need to list some maps. Hold up. Wait, Valorant maps. Okay. Okay, it doesn't have the new one. Okay, so Bind, Ascent, Split, Icebox, Breeze. Which one's the 3 map one? Is that Haven?
Yes.
Okay. First is probably Ascent. Then it's probably Split. Then it's probably... What's Breeze? Oh, that's the tit one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So... Split... Okay, Ascent, Split, Breeze, Haven, Bind, Icebox, Fracture. Fracture I'll probably put before Icebox maybe. Because I kind of grew to Fracture. But I still think it's very defender heavy.
Defender heavy?
Honesty. Yeah. I think it's very defender heavy.
Okay.
Because I think... Yeah, I think so, right? Or is it attacker heavy? Oh, it might be attacker heavy actually, because you're getting surrounded and sandwiched. It's imbalanced. Yeah. Okay, for the teams, it's imbalanced.
Okay.
You know, whatever I lose on is the part is imbalanced. But yeah, that's about it. That's with the maps, the ranking.
All right, let's finish things up with some random questions.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
gosh, I have a few. One, I need things to be tidy, not like freaky tidy, but I don't like. I know you did not say I smell. Vinny is my pet peeve. This man is my pet peeve. This man. um, uh, but so yeah, my messiness, but especially people who lie at the ass. Oh my gosh, if you lie out your ass, it really annoys me. People, and this is like a general term, being lie and faking something. Faking to like someone, faking to be someone. Definitely a very big pet peeve of mine because it really ticks me off. I probably don't go off on you. I probably just be distant to you, distant from you. But in like a OCD sense, probably keeping things neat and organized. I'm not like acting like a neat freak. I mean, hello, I have cookies here. So like here. So I didn't expect to have snacks and stuff. So it's like that. It's more of a sense of somewhat tidy. I've been raised in like a household that has to keep things tidy. And moderate, but yeah. But I think biggest pet peeve would probably be the lying and faking something. Gosh, really annoys me.
Okay, greatest fear.
Any fucking thing at this point. Oh my gosh, I hate almost every insect and rodent. Spiders, I can't really handle. I mean, I can handle them to a certain extent. Actually, no, I'm lying. I probably can't. Mice, no, is a big no. I love snakes, but I would never have one because you have to feed them mice, and rats and stuff. But no, yeah, rodents. I had an issue. In the summer, I got locked in a toilet. There was a mouse in it. I was so traumatized. I was screaming at the mouse, and it was a tiny mouse. It was a little baby, and the mouse thought I was talking to it, so it kept like coming up to me, right, and like sitting there staring at my face, and I was screaming at it, like, get the fuck away from me. And I was locked in it, right, and I was playing fucking Ring Around the Rosie with a broom with it, right, and it was just playing tick and tag with me, and then I ran out the fucking toilet, and then whoever was with me dealt with it. It was obviously here, it was somewhere else, but yeah, I was fucking locked in. I was locked in it.
What a story.
What a story. I cannot handle it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's probably why I don't want to go to New York. That's the only reason why. That's the one thing that keeps me away from New York, because London and New York have fucking rats. They're citizens of those cities. Casually walk to your stores. So yeah, no. But carry on. Sorry, what was the next question?
What is your best trait or characteristic?
That I'm open. Like, you can tell me anything, and I'll listen. Like I'm a good ear to listen to, and a good person to talk to and offer advice. I like to offer something in a non-biased perspective. But then again, I've learned that I do that a bit too much, and I get myself involved in too much things. So that's also a flaw on my part, because it can be stressful, you know, when you get involved in too many personal feelings of other things, other person's business. It really can be damaging to you because it's not your business to do so. And then my trait, yeah, that would be my trait. What was the other thing? Characteristic? That would be the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good.
I think I answered that then. Okay. There we go.
What would you say is your biggest accomplishment in life and biggest failure or regret?
Okay. Biggest accomplishment. I have a lot that are big, but I wouldn't necessarily say they're biggest. Like, you know, when I was 12, I performed in the Birmingham Town Hall, like the city town hall. I raised a lot of money for like different charities and stuff. But my truly biggest one, personal accomplishment, it's probably something really small, but overcoming 2018 and going out there to work on myself. Probably my biggest accomplishment. Because I was even suicidal. Like it was really bad because I had no end, nothing. But I got out there. Uh, I was working. I got into uni. I got to my current uni, to my current course, and I envisioned things. So, it's like something that was impossible was possible. Um, and so that's definitely a good personal accomplishment. Because I wouldn't consider the big extravagant things as one. I would consider that personal one as my biggest one. When it comes to, oh, also linking to that is like forgiving people and learning my lessons, would be one. And letting go of certain people. Like I let go of a lot of people in my life that were my family, friends, and people I liked, who abused their relationship with me. And my final regret, biggest regret. Oh, I don't know what my biggest is. I think one would be I could have DM'd Tom Holland before he was famous and I didn't do it. Probably my biggest regret, one of my biggest ones, because Jesus Christ, what have I missed out on? Mates with Tom Holland? Oh gosh, damn it! But I knew him before he got famous,
Wow.
because we studied his movie. No, when he was doing when he was quite young. I knew of him because one of my courses, my teacher showed a movie about him. Not about him, but like, he was in it, right? It was a very small movie. And then I followed him and I realized this is before he was Spider-Man or anything like that. And I was like, he was like cheering and stuff. And he was like, I remember he posted this story and he was in London. So this is why I didn't respond to it. But he was like, yo, I'm celebrating and I'm kind of bored. Someone DM me and come to the pub with me, right? And I was like, oh, well, I was if I was in London, I wouldn't have drank, but I would have made him drink for me, because obviously I had a crush on him. But I didn't do it. I didn't DM him. So that's probably one of my biggest, or my bigger regrets. My biggest, I don't know. Probably quitting my job a bit early, but then again, it was also good that I did because the atmosphere got really bad. Like the manager became like somewhat racist, so I just quit for that. But yeah, I think the Tom Holland one.
Got it.
Sir Tom Holland? I don't think he's been knighted. Sir Tom Holland? Who said that? I didn't say Sir Tom Holland, did I? Oh, anyway. But yeah, that's probably one of the bigger ones. I told my friend about that and she wanted to beat my ass. But yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you mentioned how you met everyone, like, in this community, right? What was your specific first impression of me?
Why is he always shirtless? Was before I met you. Like this is when it was shirtless Wilson, and I'm like, is this guy like fit or something? Why is he always shirtless? I was so confused about that. And then when I got into your stream and met you and saw how everyone was interacting with you and how every other thing was connecting to you, I was like, okay, this guy's a big man here. This guy's kind of a boss here, you know. So that was probably my one. I wouldn't say it was intimidating, but there was a sense of like there was a bit of nervousness when it came to it because it's like, oh my god, wait, this guy is probably like so well known. So he's probably not gonna spend so much time with someone who's like a nobody basically, But yeah, but you kind of like changed all that. You still are the big man. You still are the boss, but in the sense of like another view of it. But yeah.
Wow, what an interesting first impression to hear.
Yeah. Which one do you prefer, the shirtless one or that one?
Wow. The fact that there's two. They go together so well.
Yeah, so well.
Alright. Last two questions. As of now, in no particular order, top 5 streamers that you find yourself watching.
Oh, I've been catching myself on Twitch a lot. Like I usually was never really a person who watched Twitch a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because I used to binge a lot of other things. Like I kind of like fluctuate, it was a lot of YouTube, then it was a lot of Netflix and Disney Plus, and now it's a lot of Twitch. Bars spit them. Oh yeah, Wilson's gonna spit some bars soon. So then yeah, basically yeah, I would say Linda and you are definitely gonna be in there. Because I think you guys are pinnacle of our community that we have, or at least I've met so far. A lot of people rely on you and watch you two as a comfort sort of watch, to not only be entertained, but they feel like part of the family. So many. I'm gonna list a bunch, and if it's not within the 5, I'm sorry. But it's like, it's different moods. It's different moods. It really is. I love watching Komochi Potato. We've become friends. And I found him from a raid. I think he's absolutely awesome. I like watching it's MT. It's like his initials. It's because we met him through SRTV night. I think it was like a custom game or something. I think it was like a very unofficial one though. I played against him and he was on my team, and he was such a vibe, and I just stopped by streams a lot. I watched a lot of James because he's so cracked. I watched a lot of Umami, but oh my gosh, I can never watch his whole stream because he's always streaming. Like, if I watch all his streams, I would never sleep because he's always doing like those
200 hour, yeah.
200 hour things.
200
Jesus
hour
Christ. I like watching Chill, my twin, and I love watching Isaac as well, because he's so welcoming. Oh my gosh, so many. Oh, that girl that I mentioned as well. I was just watching her. She's funny and iconic. Hansuki Ian, who sings. Oh my gosh, guys, he makes his own music and he sings and he's like serenades you. If you want to cry, then go ahead, watch his stream. I feel it's just amazing, honestly. So many others as well, but they all like, I kind of like watch them all at variety of different times. Especially when I was doing my essays, I watched like a lot of them for like a variety of things as well. Yeah, it's amazing. Like Lita, I only recently started watching and playing with him. Joshy Poo is one as well, who's pretty cool. Also someone who I thought was a lot younger than he is. I'm sorry. But yeah, a bunch of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people I also randomly like found. Sort of like stumbling across things, Discords, Twitch, recommended and whatnot. When I'm bored or when I really try to distract myself, I end up finding myself just exploring. So yeah.
Good. All right, and for the final question. So using your connection, who would you like to see on this podcast as a special guest and why?
How many can I pick? Or is it just one person?
I mean,
I know I keep asking for your numbers, right? But I'm never following the rules.
yeah. At this
so
point,
I'm just gonna say.
Just go.
I should also add Plastify to that list because I love watching Plastify as well. But yeah, I would say. Oh, you've done a lot. 45 people, 46 including me. It's a lot of people. One, I don't know if you've done James, but I don't think he would ever want to. He's very like reserved. So I don't think he would ever. I don't think Lindo would either. Because obviously, just some people are reserved. So I'm gonna try pick random people that I don't know if they would or not.
Okay.
Just because, I'd rather it would be stupid for me to say someone that's gonna be reserved. Someone that I want to know more about. I would like to see. Have you done Ian Hansuki?
Nope.
Oh my god, yeah, you should do Ian. Ian's one.
Okay.
Mr. Karaoke big time singer here. I think so many people would love to know more about him. I think he definitely has a story to tell. Um, we've got. Oh, this. Okay. I'm gonna pick. The other two is gonna be probably Kimochi Potato and It's Empty. Just because the sole reason for the two of them is because I don't think they're necessarily part of the community, but interact with it through like raids and lurks and whatnot. And I got to know them a bit, but I think I would love to get to know them a bit more. Those are the three I pick. But I think Ian, especially being part of the community, especially being literally famous. Oh my god, Ian's the famous one. Should have asked me about that. How does Ian feel he's famous? but yeah, definitely those three.
All right. Perfect. And that's all the questions I have. We're just gonna wrap things up.
Yes,
Total
sir.
time 3 hours and 10 minutes. You talking about your life experiences.
Oh,
Round of
jeez.
applause.
Gosh. Round of applause. Round of applause. I don't know how. Who is it? Red that did 6 hours. 6 hours.
That was TJ and Sriracha. They had really long ones.
Jesus Christ. Oh, I don't know how you guys can do it. Thanks for sharing. No, thank you so much for listening, everyone. Honestly, appreciate it so much. The podcast alone isn't the first time, but it's the first time with me being in the hot seat. So I appreciate you, Wilson, not only giving me the time, not only asking the questions, but kind of guiding me through this.
Yeah.
Just because I appreciate that a lot. I was quite literally shaking earlier. But
Okay, a lot of nerves for people.
Yeah, it's hot seat. It's a new kind of thing. But yeah, I appreciate that so much.
All right, and let me just close this out for the YouTube portion, and then after that, I'll let you go because I'm sure you should go to sleep.
I'm hungry. I'm probably gonna eat something. I did sleep earlier, so like I'm probably gonna get something to eat.
Oh my god. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Chang Gang Podcast, episode 46, featuring Kai, aka ItsNiyazz. Thank you so much, Kai, for sharing your life story with us and for being such a great guest. It is like what 8 a.m. or no 6. Sorry, 6 a.m. for you. Nuts. All the way from the UK.
Thank you. Honor. It's all an honor.
All right, folks. Remember, you could drop him a follow using the command !guest. You could also follow him on Instagram. On the bottom right of the screen, you could see that. Tune in for episode 47, which is coming soon. Thank you, guys. Any last words from you, Kai?
Have fun. Live life. Oh, stay safe. Wear your damn masks. Oh my gosh. Wear your damn masks. Yeah, there you go.
Alright, guys. There you go. Wear your damn masks. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already and hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time. Take it easy. Peace.
Bye. Bye, people.